Good morning, Mountaineer Nation. Carson Fox with you here from my man cave as we are about to start game 2 of the Morgantown Super Regional of the NC Baseball AA Tournament, with West Virginia leading this 2 out of 3 series, 1-0. Starting it off with today after West Virginia pummeled Cal Poly yesterday from Kendrick Family Ballpark in game 1 at noon Eastern time, 12-2. West Virginia had every man in its batting order reach base on the day. Only one guy without a hit out of the starting lineup, but otherwise it was West Virginia just completely taking it to the Mustangs, and starting pitcher Chanson Cole reaching his 10th win for the season, 7 innings strong. Gave up 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 11 strikeouts on the day, getting the win. Meanwhile, it was kind of a lackluster day for the Cal Poly Mustangs, not really coming through with runners in scoring position and being able to add on runs. And their second starting pitcher, Griffin Ness, only went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 8 earned runs, mainly off of 2 home runs, a grand slam by Tyrus Hall, a 3-run homer by Sean Smith in the first inning. So West Virginia just getting it done on both the offensive and defensive ends in today's ball game. And they'll have another. I think we're going to see more of a pitcher's duel in this one because both teams are throwing their aces. Cal Poly's backs up against the wall. West Virginia wanting to throw its ace, Max Yale, the redshirt junior from Portville, New York, Big 12 pitcher of the year, first team all Big 12. He's 8-2 on the season in 85 innings pitched with a 2.12 ERA, 101 strikeouts, 24 walks, and 17 hit batsmen in 16 appearances. He'll be opposed by Carson Turnquist. You're listening to me, Carson Fox. Carson Turnquist on the mound for the Mustangs. The second team all Big West selection, 6'5", 235 pounds, also a redshirt junior from Paso Robles, California. 9-2 on the season, 75 1/3 innings pitched, 90 strikeouts, 38 walks, 16 hit batsmen in 15 appearances with a 3.35 ERA. So as I'm refreshing my computer as we're about to get started here on ESPN2, so I'll be giving you the score during this broadcast here on my handy dandy scorebook or my scoreboard, and giving you the play-by-play of today's action. Going to be watching the ESPN2 broadcast, but I appreciate y'all tuning in to me. If you could please like this video so that more Mountaineer fans could see this across YouTube, it definitely helps out the algorithm, and would love to have you as a subscriber to my channel as we take in game 2 of the Morgantown Super Regional from Kendrick Family Ballpark, and I'll be bringing you the action secondhand. So we'll go through the batting order. Not a lot of changes for the Mountaineers, just position switch-ups, namely because Gavin Kelly will be doing the catching of Max Yale, sending Matthew Gravelin out to left field. Armani Guzman moving over to first base, Brody Kresser in at second base. But other than the lineup position changes, lineup staying the same. Armani Guzman leading off, Gavin Kelly in the 2-hole, Paul Schoenfield out in center field, the senior in the 3-hole, Sean Smith, who's quietly raised his average all the way up to 321 on the season, now second on the team with 9 home runs, 52 RBIs. He's doing the DHing duty in the cleanup spot. At the 5-hole, Matthew Gravelin, as I said, being out in left field. Matt Einish at the shortstop in the 6th spot. Brody Kresser in the 7th spot playing second base. Ben Lumsden, who also, now the postseason started, Ben Lumsden's going to hero mode. He's up to a 257 average, 1 home run, 14 RBIs. He's starting out in right field. And then Tyrus Hall, who was one of the heroes of yesterday's contest, doing the 9-hole hitting at third base, 275 average with now 6 home runs. He's tied for third on the team, behind Kelly, behind Smith, tied with Gravelin. What opposing for the Mustang lineup? It'll be the same lineup as yesterday. Nate Castellone at the shortstop position, leading off. In the 2-hole, Alejandro Garza playing third base. In 3 spot, Dylan Kordich in right field. Then Ryan Taman, the standout catcher. In the cleanup spot, Cam Hoyland will be DHing. In the 5 spot, Casey Murray Jr. will be out in center field. Gavin Spiridonov at first base in the 7 spot, Dante Vecchini out in left field in the 8 spot, and Jake Downing will be in the 9 hole playing second base for the Cal Poly Mustangs, who come into today's contest 39-23, 15-11 now on the road, do most of their damage at home or in the state of California, 18-10, 22-8 in conference play. Once again, trailing now in the Super Regional Series, 0-1 to the Mountaineers, who could potentially make history. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, speak some things into the existence that don't come true, and then I look foolish. Instead, West Virginia, with a win today, not only would punch its ticket to the College Baseball World Series in Omaha, Nebraska for the first time in program history, it would also record the most wins in a single season in program history, set last year when West Virginia won 44 games. So West Virginia now 44-15. Last year, West Virginia was 44-16. So it's a historic day to accomplish both of those two things for a program that just seems on the absolute up and up. So I'll go through as I'm refreshing here. Now that we've hit 12:01, I figured that the ESPN2 broadcast would come on my ESPN app here on the team. But once again, hold on. I got to turn this off because my TV's got volume. Oh, sorry, y'all. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got to start all over now because I hit one button on my TV to turn the volume off. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties here as I'm looking to get things started. I'll be right back in just a second as I'm pulling up the ESPN2 broadcast stream. West Virginia, as I'm pulling that up, will be the visiting team. That's the one unique aspect of today's game, even though West Virginia is the home team by playing in the friendly confines of Kendrick Family Ballpark. Because Cal Poly was the visiting team in game 1, now the Mustangs will get the opportunity to be a home squad and bat second. So we will see Max Yale on the mound for the Mountaineers starting off this game. Once again, going to be opposed by Carson Turnquist of Cal Poly, who's their ace. I think we're going to be locked in. I don't think we're going to have the kind of high scoring game that I had last week when West Virginia beat Binghamton 10-1. Certainly not yesterday when West Virginia won the game very comfortably, handedly, convincingly, 12-2 in front of the Mountaineer faithful. So just getting started here. If you could please hit that thumbs up button, like this video so more Mountaineer fans could see it across YouTube. I'd really appreciate that and would love to have you as a subscriber to my channel. Talking West Virginia baseball, talking West Virginia football, and can't wait to get back into that. As much as exciting that the baseball season is, oh man, I can't believe it. Turn the page into June and we're just talking about a few months away from the 2026 college football season for the Mountaineers. But for right now, all locked in, tuned into this baseball program that is on the precipice of making history, getting to the College Baseball World Series for the first time in program history, setting a record potentially with one more win, getting the most wins in a single season in program history. West Virginia playing baseball dating back to 1892 and has been ever so close to that College Baseball World Series, never so closer than when West Virginia was in the 1955 District 3 championship. Similarly equivalent to what West Virginia now experiences with regional play. Didn't have the super regionals and as much of a structure back in 1955 that we have in 2026. But West Virginia took on Wake Forest at home back in 1955 with the opportunity, with a win, to get to Omaha. Unfortunately, came up short, and West Virginia from there on had made a regional tournament 16 times, never had it gotten to the Super Regionals before just 2 years ago when West Virginia won the Tucson regional, went down to the Chapel Hill Super Regional, fought hard. Derek Clark pitching his heart out for the Mountaineers against the North Carolina Tar Heels. And then last year, West Virginia winning a thrilling Clemson regional over Clemson and the Kentucky Wildcats, getting to the Super Regional, falling ever so short to the eventual national champions, LSU Tigers. Now, this year, everything is just broken so well for West Virginia. Of course, battling it out through that Morgantown regional last week, beating Wake Forest, beating Binghamton, beating Kentucky 2 out of 3 games to win that one, and then stay at home in Morgantown, get to bring Cal Poly 3 time zones across to the Mid Atlantic in West Virginia. And now it's going to be a fun one. West Virginia just 9 innings away, one more win to punch their ticket to Omaha as the broadcast is just about to start. And I think everybody's clapping their hands to the stroke. Don't know if we're going to see Pat McAfee, Coach Rodriguez, and any other Mountaineer celebrities in the crowd today. But man, look at Randy's Ridge, baby. Oh man, everybody. Wow. Everybody in the state of West Virginia looks to be packed up there on Randy's Ridge. Oh my goodness. Yep. Here's Carson Turnquist for Cal Poly doing the starting pitching. Interesting story on Carson Turnquist. Started out his collegiate career at Oklahoma in 2023 when he appeared in 5 games as a true freshman. Transferred and underwent Tommy John surgery December 22nd, 2023. Redshirted the 2024 season with Cal Poly. In 2025, last year, only made 1 start, 3 relief appearances for the Mustangs. This year, he's completely turned a corner. In his 4th season, the Mustangs have stayed with him. He's won 9-2 on the year and 15 appearances with a 3.35 ERA and 90 strikeouts on the season. He'll take on Armani Guzman doing the leadoff batting, ball outside, to West Virginia's incredible junior, who just was the star and the hero of West Virginia's regional round last week, especially in those games against Kentucky. Swings through a fastball, 95 miles per hour, right down the middle against Guzman. Turnquist, again, 6'5", 235 pounds in his 4th season. Long, lanky guy, but can touch up into the mid-90s. Low and inside on Guzman. He goes 2-1. Guzman was 2 for 5 yesterday. Scored a run for the Mountaineers. He bats from the left side. West Virginia wearing its classic all blue with gold lettering and blue trim look. Swings through another fastball, fouls it off down the left field line. Guzman wearing 5, gold batting gloves. No score, starting it off in the top of the 1st inning, 2-2 count to Armani Guzman, the leadoff man. Turnquist out of the windup, fouled off, goes Guzman back to the backstop, 96 miles per hour. Other action going on between Mississippi State and Georgia, one of several games going on in NCAA tournament play, Super Regional round play today across the country. West Virginia, the 2nd game. Here's the pitch to Guzman. He swings it off, fouling it off, an 85-mile-an-hour changeup. Mississippi State leading Georgia 6-0 in the top of the 4th. Fans on their feet at Kendrick Family Ballpark cheering on Guzman to get a hit. Ball upstairs, high and away, makes it a full count. Guzman will battle with you. He's not going to – that's one of the things that's really impressed me about Guzman this season is he's cut down on the chases. 71% of the time, Turnquist is going with a fastball, according to the graphics just shown here on the ESPN2 broadcast. And the windup and the pitch swung on another foul ball, hit off Guzman, but into play down the first base line to the first baseman, Spiridonov. But we'll reset and continue. Turnquist is not a guy who is afraid to go deep into games. He averages 93 pitches per appearance. Got a rubber arm, similarly to Dawson Montesa. And he was excellent last week against St. Mary's in the UCLA Regional. Here he goes, facing Guzman with a 3-2 count. Fastball right down the middle. Guzman strokes it to center field. Inside the warning track, caught by Casey Murray Jr. for the first out of the game. But, man, making Turnquist throw 9 pitches, quite the battle there by Guzman, who's playing at third base today. That'll bring up Gavin Kelly, 377 batting average, 16 home runs, 56 RBIs, the sophomore catcher from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And of course, the Golden Spikes finalist for the Mountaineers, first team All Big 12, probably was top 4 in the country in player of the year, or top 2 behind Landon Hairston of Arizona. He swings in the first pitch he sees, a fastball right down the middle, popped up down the right field line on where West Virginia fans would love to see West Virginia expand seats. Instead, that'll be a foul ball. Kelly yesterday in game 1 for 5 on the day. By his standards, not his best game, but that's okay. His teammates picked him up. Kelly, of course, the tournament MVP of the regional round last weekend, swung on, misses through a fastball 95 miles per hour. And oh boy, man, when you can just see the expression on Gavin Kelly's face when he's not liking an at bat there. So he'll have to protect 0-2, top of the first, no score. And the fastball up at his eyes, he takes that for a ball. Turnquist against St. Mary's last Saturday, a week ago, went 89 pitches in 6 innings, just an earned run on 5 hits with a hit batsman and 7 strikeouts. 1-2 count on Kelly. Breaking ball outside, evens the count at 2. And you're seeing on the broadcast that Cal Poly not messing around with electronic signals, still flashing pitches. Swung on by Kelly, up the middle, a single on a line drive to Casey Murray Jr. He'll be West Virginia's first base runner of the game. There we go. Started off with a hit. What I was meaning to say there is the Ryan Taman is still flashing finger signals to Turnquist. A lot of times now you're just seeing with these electronic devices that look like wristwatches. That's how games are called nowadays. That'll bring up a little old school approach here with the hand signals. Here will bring Paul Schoenfeld up with 1 out. Kelly on first base in the top of the first. Out of the stretch, Turnquist paints the outside corner for strike 1. Schoenfeld 341 batting average, 4 home runs, 48 RBIs. Yesterday against Cal Poly, 0 for 4, but did walk and did score a run. Curveball, he fouls off down the right field line to the West Virginia dugout. Of course, we remember Schoenfeld, and they're showing it right here. His go-ahead 2-run home run in Game 6 against Kentucky last Sunday night in Morgantown, in which he just lit the college baseball world on fire with that 2-run blast to right field. 0-2 the count. Turnquist steps off, wants to get new signals, kind of barking it out with someone in the dugout and with his catcher, Taman. Look like they're trying to get on the same page. Here's Turnquist with the pitch right down the pipe, and that'll be strike 3. Schoenfeld goes down looking. I don't know what he was looking for there. Man, that was right down Broadway. Wow. I mean, Taman set up outside, so he had to move a little bit to his right. But, man, I don't think you get much better pitches than that. Schoenfeld looking for something else instead. Now 2 outs. That'll bring Sean Smith up to the plate. Yesterday's hero in the first inning with a 3-run jack. That'll be called for a strike. Turnquist swinging through. 2 outs here in the top of the first with Kelly on first base. Here's Smith, swings through, popped up, and it'll stay in play, but it'll drop foul. Spiridonov tried to catch the ball, kind of leaning back behind his back, wasn't able to make the play, gives Sean Smith second wind. 19 pitches now for Carson Turnquist. In the top of the first, no score. Yeah, Sean Smith, 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored yesterday for the Mountaineers. He was electric. After having a bit of a subpar regional round at the plate to his standards, especially after what he did in the Big 12 tournament, he lit it up yesterday for the old Gold and Blue. Fastball, 97 miles an hour, overthrown by Turnquist way outside in the left-hander's batter's box. Makes it 1-2 the count. Smith, of course, one of West Virginia's one-year guys that brought in through the transfer portal this offseason from Georgia Southern University. The pitch by Turnquist, a little bit high, over the plate, but called a ball. 2-2 the count. With Kelly on first, 2 outs, no score. Turnquist out of the stretch against Smith. He delivers. Smith swings right through it, and he'll go down for a strikeout. Turnquist, pumping up his arms, looking to get the Cal Poly faithful in. He's wanting to get into it. All right, we'll go. We'll see what he can do here. And that's the second strikeout of the inning. So in the top of the first, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. That'll bring Cal Poly up to the plate for the first time. 2 strikeouts for Turnquist. Hit allowed. Marking my scorecard here. So Max Yell back on the mound for the Mountaineers. We can recall very vividly last week when when Yell came out to the mound against Kentucky. Oh, it was his roughest outing of the season. Just 2/3 of an inning, 36 pitches, gave up 4 runs on 2 hits, a walk, and 2 hits batsman. Oh, but then, man, he came in on Monday. Over the weekend, head coach Steve Sabins alluding to the fact that Yale might have the opportunity to start if West Virginia could force a game 7, get the series to Monday. West Virginia did so. Yale got the start. He went 5 innings strong on 67 pitches, gave up only 1 run on 3 hits. The 1 run was a home run with 2 hit batsmen, but 6 Ks. So he came back last week for the old Gold and Blue when West Virginia needed him the most, after Dawson Montesa the day before had thrown 122 pitches. Also, the bullpen guys being used. Of course, Chance and Cole went on Friday against Binghamton, was used in that game against Kentucky. When West Virginia needed him the most, he came through last week, put it all together, and he takes his warm-up throws for the Mountaineers to start the bottom of the first. 8-2 on the year for Yale. 85 innings pitched, 2.12 ERA with 101 strikeouts, 24 walks, 17 hit batsmen in 16 appearances. So he'll be facing Nate Castillon, Alejandro Garza, and Dylan Kordich to start off this game for Cal Poly. Once again, West Virginia, 44 wins, looking to set a program record for single season wins with a win today, and also punch their ticket to the College Baseball World Series for the first time in program history. But still, got to beat Cal Poly one more time. ESPN broadcast showing Cal Poly's head coach Larry Lee, who's in his 24th season for the Mustangs, versus Steve Sabins, who's in his 2nd year, of course. Yale throws the first pitch right down the pipe for a strike. That's a great way to lead it off, set the tone there. He'll face Castillon at the shortstop, 3.26 ERA or average with 5 home runs and 31 RBIs. The lefty Yale gets Castillon to foul one back. Castellon yesterday was just 1 for 5 with a strikeout. But then again, not only really Dylan Kordich was the one who came through offensively yesterday for the green and black, or green and gold. The lefty Yale throws an outside breaking ball, 1-2. No score in the bottom of the first. Here's Yale out of the stretch, delivers, breaking ball, slap to the shortstop Einish, quick-footed, fleeted Castellon, throws it across over the top of the glove of Armani Guzman, and that'll be an error. Unfortunately, West Virginia, it sounds a little bit like deja vu here. We can recall in Yale's start last week, a weakly hit ground ball by Castellon. Einish makes the throw a little high over the head of Armani Guzman. Did get a part of his glove on that. That'll go E6. So that'll bring up Alejandro Garza, the third baseman, who's batting 323 with 5 home runs and 50 RBIs. For a team that gets on base nearly 38% of the time, Cal Poly only has 22 stolen bases for the season. Here's Yell out of the stretch, down at the shins on Garza, called a ball, with Castellon over now on first base. But going back to my point about Einish kind of, that's what I think. He had 2 errors last week in the series, or 1 error last week in the regional, now his first of the super regional level. Didn't really see that from Einish at all regular season. Yep. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your comments too. Yeah, just a little too high of a throw there by Einish on that one. I know that Guzman, one of the shorter first basemen probably in college football or in college baseball at 5'10", but man, just lower that throw just a little bit. He's played a lot of first base this season. Hit him in the eyes, hit him in the chest, throw through him. Unfortunately, though, not the case. So runner on first base, couple of balls tossed to Garza. Although, yes, Guzman did work the count hard against Turnquist in his first at bat when West Virginia was up to the plate. Here's Yell out of the stretch, fires to Garza. Fly ball to shallow or to regular center field. Schoenfeld comes up with the catch, and Castellon will retreat back to first base. Efficient work there by Max Yell to get Garza. That'll bring up Dylan Kordich, the right fielder, 277 batting average, 10 home runs, 38 RBIs on the season, and he did the heavy lifting for the Cal Poly offense yesterday, 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI on the day. Bats lefty and sports a pretty awesome mustache. I got to give him credit. Pickoff attempt by Yale over to Guzman to keep Castellon honest over at first base. 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. No score from Morgantown. Mississippi State now in the bottom of the fourth. Whoa, added a run, 7-5 over Georgia in their regional. There's the pitch. Whoa. Kordich didn't know what he wanted to do, so kind of swung at it like a sword, like it was the bench warmers. That's this Cal Poly offense hasn't seen a pitcher like Yale since probably I think Carson Everman of USC. So I know they face good pitching out there in the Big West Conference, but Yale at 6'6", 235, throwing a heavy left-handed downhill pitch. He's hard to hit. Another pickoff play to Guzman, keeping Castellon honest. I don't know if they're thinking he's going to try and run on Gavin Kelly. I sure wouldn't do that. 0-1 the count. Yell focusing in on Cordich. Ball down in the dirt, in the turf. That's another thing. The Mustangs, I think, hadn't played on turf all but once this season before yesterday and had rough time judging those balls into the outfield defensively. Here's Yell with the pitch outside. That'll even or make it 2-1 count now. 1 out. Here's Yell out of the stretch, comes set in the pitch. Low. Kelly not able to glove it. May have been able to frame that pitch and get the call if he was able to catch it, but wasn't able to. West Virginia making the switch. Matthew Groveland, the starter, behind the dish for the Mountaineers yesterday, instead switching back to their regular starter in Kelly today. Fouled off. 3-2 goes the count against Garza or Cordich, with Castiglione over on first base. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. No score. Yale will be delivering his 13th pitch of the inning. Fans getting on their feet, wanting to see Yale get Cordich. Another pickoff against Castiglione over at first. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if it's just like a stay in a rhythm kind of routine kind of thing here, but here's Yale with the delivery. Fastball down through the right side. That's going to move Castiglione over to third base and give Cordich his third hit of the series. Through the right side, in between the first baseman, Guzman, and the second baseman, Cresser. And errors will kill you, ladies and gentlemen. That now gives Cal Poly runners on the corners with just 1 out here in the bottom of the first, with Yale delivering 13 pitches. And now the 4-hole hitter, Ryan Taman, Cal Poly's best hitter at a 360 average with 18 homers and 56 RBIs up to the plate. Here's Taman, the righty, swung on the first pitch he sees, a fastball right down the middle. Here's Lumsden coming up with the catch easily. That'll score Castiglione, and Cal Poly has its first lead of this series. Unearned run against Yale. But sac fly for Ryan Taman gives Cal Poly now, and I got to flip my scoreboard. I hate to do this. Now a lead. But you know what? This happened against West Virginia against Binghamton over a week ago. I know different pitchers, Chance and Cole, but Binghamton had the early lead in that one. You got to score a run to win the ball game. So it's not the end of the world, but just limit the damage here and get back to the dugout. Here's Cam Hoyland, the DH, 315 batting average, bats from the left side, 6 home runs, 29 RBIs. Now the man on first base swung on the next second pitch he sees and evens the count at 1-1. Cordich on first base with 2 outs. And a whole bunch of Mountaineer fans all over and beyond Kendrick Family Ballpark. Oh my gosh. The scene. Wow. And there's a pitch by Yale, fouled off by Hoyland. The count will go to 1-2. The last game in if West Virginia doesn't play an if necessary game tomorrow in the 2 out of 3 series, this could be the last game from Kendrick Family Ballpark for the season. Here's the pitch by Yale, outside, getting the check swing call. Goes the batter's way for Hoyland. Says no swing. Let's see the replay here. It was close. I think he just barely checked it. Didn't necessarily break his wrist, held up, but he didn't want to. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Yale with a curveball up across the shoulder, and it hits Hoyland on the right elbow. Oh, boy. So that'll move Cordich up to second base. Hoyland, man, you can just tell Yale is upset with that delivery. And Steve Sabins will come out of the dugout and talk with the home plate umpire, thinking that Hoyland kind of leaned into it on that one. I don't know. I just think that was a curveball. Yale just missed on the delivery. Uh, I mean, it's so borderline. Did he lean into it just a little bit? Yes. I mean, you see Hoyland's front foot get down, leans his elbow out in the direction of the ball, has an elbow pad. I can definitely see Steve Sabins' gripe on that one. But man, did Yale just miss the location. I mean, Gavin Kelly is calling for an outside delivery and Yale misses. I know it's the way the pitch breaks. He's got a high like 1-7 or no, I'm sorry, 11-5 breaking ball that breaks so high up on left-handed hitters to break into the outside, but just started that pitch I think a little too early, and it clips Hoyland. So that'll bring up Casey Murray Jr., the center fielder. He's batting 321 on the season with 5 home runs and 31 RBIs, the defensive player of the year from the Big West Conference. 2 outs, 2 runners on for Yale. Delivers fastball or off-speed pitch right down the pipe, 84 miles per hour. That was Yale's 20th delivery of the first inning. Murray bats from the right batter's box. Here's the delivery. Pitch outside, called a ball. Fans don't like it. Borderline pitches. I don't know how it's going to go today with the home plate umpiring. Hopefully not as chaotic as that Kentucky Game 7 game and Game 6 games were a week ago. Here's Yale. Fires. Murray, all he can do is slap and foul that one off. 1-2, 2 outs. Man on first and second here in the bottom of the first with Cal Poly leading 1-0 off an unearned run because of a defensive error, just like we had last week against Kentucky. Here's Yale, delivers, swung on by Murray. He'll foul it off down the right field line. Murray hit that ball about 290 feet down past section 109 in between the right field foul pole and the wall. Standing room only tickets. Trying to get in if you wanted to go today, like $170 when I checked this morning. Here's Yale's 1-2 delivery. The pitch swung on, and that's it. Max Yale gets out of it. Strike 3, see ya. Casey Murray leaving 2 runners aboard, striking out swinging, and that ends the Cal Poly threat with just over 20 pitches thrown. So on 1 run and 1 hit, 1 error, Cal Poly leaves 3 stranded. West Virginia will come back up to bat to start off the top of the second, down 1-0. All right, not the greatest first inning, but again, like I'm saying, you if you have to score 1 run to win the ball game. So whether it comes in the first inning, whether it comes into the 9th inning, West Virginia's got to score 1 here. So limiting the damage on Cal Poly early. Let's get some hits. Let's keep the offense rolling just the way it did yesterday. If you want to leave a comment here, you want to ask a question, get my thoughts on anything, feel free to drop them in the chat here. Appreciate all the comments that you've been leaving here. With Faro 2755. I don't know. I just think that Yale sometimes, with some pitchers out there, have a little first inning jitters. This happened to me growing up. Sometimes it depended. Sometimes I was, right on from the get go, get through a clean inning and throw. I always like to say about 15 in. If you can keep your pitches per inning around 15, you're staying efficient. So some guys come up on there, just a little bit trying to find the plate. And I just think Yale And give credit to Cal Poly here of keeping with that hit that Kordich had on, what was it? 2-strike count, battled back, got the hit, moved the runners around. You just can't have the error. You got to stay clean. This was the best West Virginia defense in the Big 12 this season, so can't have errors. But back to the game, top of the second inning. That'll bring up Matthew Groveland to start off the top of the second inning, who's batting .292 with 6 home runs, 35 RBIs. Yesterday in game 1, 2 for 4 on the day with a walk and scored a run. Groveland, of course, the senior transfer from Ohio State, now playing much deeper into the postseason, which is why he made the move, wanting to come over to Morgantown and play for a national contending ball club. 2-1 the count there as Turnquist throws a breaking ball on the outside corner. Turnquist got Schoenfeld and Sean Smith to strike out in the top of the first. Here's Groveland's pitch on the outer half, and of course Turnquist gets the call. Evens the count at 2, 1-0 Cal Poly, nobody out in the top of the second. Turnquist out of the windup, throws. Groveland makes contact, a blooper into right field, drops in. Is it a fair ball? Ball now out of play. Kordich made an effort on it. I think he hurt himself on that effort. He's slow to get up, staying down on one knee. Inside the line, according to the home plate umpire, that was a fair ball. Wow, hit inches, maybe one single inch down the right field line. And that'll be a double for Matthew Groveland. You hope Kordich, as a competitor for Cal Poly, can get up and doesn't have to exit the ball game, but slid awkwardly trying to make the play on the artificial turf as we get the super slow-mo replay. And yeah, you can see either just inside the line or right on the inside of the wow. Yep, right on the line. The super frame-by-frame slow-mo hits right on the line, called fair, full speed. Kordich slams into the wall. That's going to stay fair. That caught chalk. That was a natural surface, instead caught white-colored turf. That'll leave Groveland at second base and give West Virginia its first base runner in scoring position. And we get at that'll be a quick challenge. This will cost Cal Poly one of its challenges. Leave Groveland at second base. I think Kordich is okay that he's going to stay out there in right field. Tough effort, and that's just the way it's. Baseball's a game of inches. What can you say? Luck breaks West Virginia's way right there. That'll bring Matt Einish to the plate. .296 batting average on the season. 4 home runs, 35 RBIs. And that'll force Turnquist to throw out of the stretch. First pitch on the inside corner, 93 miles per hour. Einish yesterday, 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored and 3 walks. Here's Turnquist out of the stretch with Groveland on second base. And Groveland takes off for third, and he's safe on the stolen base against Garza. Wow. Against Ryan Taman on the throw. That was bold. Bold. Groveland just takes off. Good throw by Taman, but man, just straight steal beats him. What an effort there by Matthew Groveland. I mean, not the most fleet of foot that West Virginia has on this team, but I mean, really best speed. I feel like I've seen him on the Base Paths show right there of all season. Great effort on that stolen base, and he gets it. Einish now works a 2-1 count. Einish, arguably the most selective batter of this West Virginia starting lineup. He's not going to swing at bad pitches. Here's Turnquist, the righty, delivers, high and outside, check swing, goes Einish's way, 3-1 the count now, as Turnquist is over 30 pitches for this game. That was close. That was as close of a check swing as Hoyland had the previous half inning. So West Virginia gets the call there. 3-1 to Einish, inside for a ball. Einish will get another walk. He's just deadly. I don't know how pitches, doesn't matter what conference you're a part of, what team. Matt Einish is going to work a walk against you. At least one. 51st walk on the season now leads the team. Just selective. Not a guy who's going to swing at bad pitches. Sometimes to, a guy who loved to swing the bat playing baseball growing up, sometimes just drives me crazy the way that Einish likes to work walks, but he does so. No outs, runners on the corners. West Virginia trails 1-0 for Brody Kresser, who was awesome yesterday for the Mountaineers. First pitch he sees off the outside corner. Kresser was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a walk yesterday. He was awesome, the senior from Jessup, Iowa. Groveland on third, Einish on first. Here's Turnquist out of the stretch. Long pause, delivers to Kresser, and taking off for second is Einish. Double score, steal. Taman can't come up with the ball. Mountaineer score the run. Beautiful. I cannot believe they did that. So Turnquist delivered. Einish stole for second. The throw down to second base by Taman was fielded by the second baseman Downing, as we get the replay here, who fired home to Groveland, and Taman just could not collect the catch or collect the throw and tag Groveland out at the same time before he was able to score. So West Virginia comes up with the run there. Now, 1-1 with a man on second base. Can Kresser add on? Breaking ball outside off the plate. 2-1 goes the count. Can West Virginia break open this scoring and go on a bit of a rally here? As now Turnquist's thrown 35 pitches with just a full inning complete to his record. Long pause, looking back at Einish, delivers to Kresser, down into the turf, 3-1. This is why Turnquist, you shouldn't have gotten so, fired up and, for getting 2 strikes in the first inning. It's a long ball game, man. A lot of things can happen. 3-1 the count. He steps off, and the coach will trot out to go talk to the redshirt junior. Yeah, that's what I mean to say, that baseball is a funky game, man. It's a game of momentum, a game of inches. One thing can turn on you like that. One hit there that actually hits the right field line by Matthew Groveland has now changed the complexion of this inning and potentially changing the complexion of this start for Carson Turnquist. He brings the whole infield over to talk about this one, as they show now here on the ESPN2 broadcast. Oh my gosh, I've never. This is like the state fair. Are there as many people at the West Virginia State Fair as they are at Kendrick Family Ballpark right now? I'm talking about the whole state fair every single day. I would love to know it. Fans out there with their canopies on the hillside. WVU bringing in porta-johns and trash cans and everything else of the like, as this has just taken on, Randy's Ridge has taken on a legend of its own over the course of the last couple of weekends. Here's Kresser out of the 3-1 count. The delivery by Turnquist, floater right over the heart of the plate, brings the count full. 81 miles per hour. Little changeup right down the pipe. Man, Brody, that was something you could park out in right center field, man. 1-1 your score. Here's the delivery from Turnquist, low, and that'll walk Brody Kresser. So back-to-back walks against Turnquist at 38 pitches now. Runners on first and second. We'll see if Cal Poly starts to get somebody warmed up in the bullpen. Cal Poly used 6 different pitchers last night or yesterday in game 1. As Taman comes out, calls time, gives some signals, wants to talk it over with the infield. That'll bring up Ben Lumsden, the senior right fielder, 257 on the year batting, 1 home run, which he's had in game 1 of the regional against Binghamton. Now 14 RBIs to his credit. Batting lefty, low and in the turf once again. Lumsden, as we all know, taking over for Brock Wills, who started the majority of the season, starting with that regional series, and he has just not done anything but produce to earn and keep his starting position. Here's the pitch from Turnquist, swung on into center field, and that goes back, left center field, keep fading, gone! 3-run home run by Ben Lumsden. All right. And the Mountaineer faithful are on their feet celebrating that 3-run jack. 4-1 your score now in game 2 of the Super Regional. Whoo, got to change my scoreboard up. Ben Lumsden. What a boss. On a 1-0 count, right down the heart of the plate, and he just drills it to left center field. I didn't know if it had the power. Looked like that might have just, kind of got down by the warning track. Instead, just kept going and going and gone. Man, if he can continue to produce, plus the guy who's coming up now in the 9-hole, Tyrus Hall, whose first pitch is outside, called a ball, who hit a grand slam yesterday. If West Virginia can find some power down at the bottom of its lineup, this is a complete offense, y'all. Oh, just good swing there by Ben Lumsden. Next pitch, Tyrus Hall sees, called a ball outside 2-0. So now Turnquist is just in trouble. He's in trouble. All right, that one catches the outside corner for his first strike. Tyrus Hall, of course, yesterday, 2 for 3, 5 RBIs and a run scored. Next pitch he sees is up at his eyeballs. Turnquist, the fans are getting in Turnquist's head at this point in time now. He looks rattled, sweating. I don't know if he's got much more to give in this inning. Here's Hall, locked in, crushes that one. A little more center than Lumsden's, but that'll be gone. Back-to-back jacks by Ben Lumsden and Tyrus Hall. The solo shot to left center field. He crushed that ball, baby. Power. 5-1 your score. Turnquist still doesn't have an out here in the top of the second. Oh my goodness. West Virginia just unloading. That'll go back to the top of the order, and we got Armani Guzman now 45 pitches in for Carson Turnquist. Guzman back to the plate after working a 9-pitch at bat last time. Had a line out to center field as we see the replay by Tyrus Hall. Just a no-doubter. Just turned his hips, hands through behind him, crushed it to left center field, and Turnquist couldn't believe it. Fouled on. That's that D1 power force strength that you have to have. That's the kind of power that differentiates the power 4 versus the mid-major level that we just have not seen yet from Cal Poly. That we saw last week against Kentucky, same with Wake Forest. 0-2 the count on Guzman. Turnquist delivers, fouled off, 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the inner half. and he'll at least work Turnquist if it doesn't turn into a hit. Whoo, boy, this game just changed. Turnquist delivers. Low and inside. Turnquist wanting the call, doesn't get it. Goes 1-2 the count now. Taman framed that pretty well, but didn't get the call. There's Lumsden and Hall talking to each other in the dugout after back-to-back jacks. Out of the windup, Turnquist delivers low and inside into the turf on what would be the chalk of the left batter's box. Guzman working Turnquist now to his 50th delivery and only still threw one complete. And that hits him. That pitch hits Guzman in the calf. I don't know if it was his left leg or his right leg, but Guzman will take his base. And I don't know what Larry Lee is thinking now at this point. At this point in time, I don't think he has any better options on his team than going with, well, all right, Lee will come in, signals the right-hander, and that'll be it. Wow. In the same way that West Virginia got on Binghamton's ace a week ago, West Virginia does it to Cal Poly right there, and they'll chase Turnquist out. He'll be responsible for Guzman, but just gets through one complete, 4 hits allowed, 5 runs, 2 walks, and a hit batsman. Whew. Man, I mean, I listened to some really good shows this week. I listened to my guy Justin Coos Walker interview Cal Poly's head play-by-play man. Of course, got to talk about this game or this series with my man Mountaineer Paul and his Locked On West Virginia program a couple of days ago. I did not expect this, but I did not buy into this Cal Poly team the way that some did out there. I know the numbers, kind of pop off the page, but heck, anybody can do that. Everybody's still playing a season. People are going to have the better hitters in their order versus the lesser hitters of their order. But just when I looked at this Cal Poly team and saw that that St. Mary's did the heavy lifting against UCLA out in the Los Angeles Regional a week ago, the Cal Poly kept catching St. Mary's after St. Mary's was doing the hard work against UCLA. Yeah, Cal Poly came and beat Virginia Tech 6-2 in their first game. That can't be shied away from. But this West Virginia team is on another level right now. Of course, still a long game. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself here with still, 8 innings that it'll have to play. Have to at least defend and keep up with this score. But man, this team just looks so on a note. When you have Ben Lumsden and you have Tyrus Hall delivering in addition to what West Virginia has 1 through 7, where are the holes? Everybody picks each other up. If Gavin Kelly has a down game, or Armani Guzman, Paul Schoenfeld, doesn't matter. Someone else picks them up. I just think that this team is like a team of destiny right now. As they're showing Turnquist, his day is done and can't even get a single out in the top of the second inning. So Armani Guzman over on first, West Virginia winning 5-1 in the top of the second, as a new pitcher, Chris Downs, comes into the ball game. 3-1 record, 5 ERA. He's thrown 55 2/3 innings pitched with 55 strikeouts and 21 walks. Another lefty. Did he pitch yesterday? No, did not pitch yesterday for the Mustangs. Guy who I'm sure kind of is in the Ian Korn role for Cal Poly, can either be a reliever, long reliever, or starter. Georgia's worked its way back beating Mississippi State now in the top of the sixth. Mississippi State was winning 6-0, now trailing 9-7. North Carolina, the nation's number 5 seed, in an 0-1 deficit to USC. They'll get started at 2. And then Troy and Little Rock, the winner, West Virginia, will play in its first game of the College World Series if it's advantageous enough to get there. It's who West Virginia could match up with in Omaha. And then, of course, Auburn and Ole Miss. Ole Miss won the first game late last night. That game will start at 6 o'clock, also in the same bracket as West Virginia, down the side of the NCAA tournament bracket. And pickoff play, once again, there by Downs. Spiridonov jumps to try and catch that one and put the tag on Guzman. Better focus on the batter here, man. You got one of the best hitters in college baseball, Golden Spikes finalist, and Gavin Kelly at the plate. Delivery by Downs, the lefty, fastball down the middle in the inner half. Kelly fouls it back off on Randy's ridge. And with one more stolen base for the season, Armani Guzman can overtake Victor Scott for the most stolen bases in a single season, or since I think not that there. He's on the list of most stolen bases in a single season. I think he needs a few more to take the single season lead. He's got 37 stolen bases, more than Cal Poly has as an entire team. Downs will keep him honest over at first base. No outs, top of the second inning, with West Virginia leading 5-1. A 5-run inning by the old Gold and Blue, thanks to Ben Lumsden's 3-run home run and then solo shot by Tyrus Hall after Matthew Groveland scored on a double steal play, delayed steal, when Matt Einish was on first base. Another pickoff play, 2-1 the count now against Gavin Kelly. Explosive for the Mountaineers in the top half here of the second inning. This game started at noon. It's now approaching 1 o'clock. An hour to play 1.5 innings. Or one complete. Stolen base. There it is. Overtaking Victor Scott there for the single season stolen base space mark. He's now tied the school record. Thank you, ESPN. 38 stolen bases on the season for Guzman. What a competitor. 3-1 the count now against Gavin Kelly from the right-handed batter's box. Delivery by Downs. Fouled off. Man, look at the English and the spin on that one as that trundles back to the backstop. Kelly's now worked a 3-2 count against Downs. Has a good delivery. If he would just focus on the batter instead of trying to pick off Armani Guzman. It's kind of annoying. The pitch, way high and away, loses him there. Gavin Kelly makes him pay, and he'll trot down to first base with a walk. West Virginia can continue to make this a big inning. Nobody out. Nobody out. Doing all of this with no outs. Runners now. Gavin Kelly on first base. And Armani Guzman on second. That'll bring Paul Schoenfeld, who struck out looking in his first at bat in the first. Paul looking for his first hit of this Super Regional round. Here's the delivery by Downs. He shows bunt. Bunting it is Schoenfeld. Good contact. Downs collects it, throws over the first baseman Spiridonov. And Paul will go down for the out on the sac bunt. But he moves Guzman over to third. and moves Gavin Kelly up to second base, giving West Virginia 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 out. I'll bring up Sean Smith, who struck out swinging against Turnquist in the first inning, with West Virginia leading 5-1 now. Pitch by Downs, swung on hard by Smith, but that'll go foul down the right field line. Oh, man, if he could have kept that maybe 50 feet closer inside the right field foul pole, that could have been gone. Had the distance, but a little late on that pitch. Now that pitch by Downs off the outside corner, 1-1 the count. Smith again had a 3-run jack yesterday in the first inning against Cal Poly. Can he score home some more runs and break open this game even further? Pitch by Downs on the inside corner. Late call by the home plate umpire, but he gets it. Downs gets it. 1-2 the count on Smith. Beautiful day from Kendrick Family Ballpark into the 80s and sunny. Steps off, goes Downs, and he'll reset. Just looking to try and settle in, throw his best pitch against Smith, who's the dog in the cleanup spot of this West Virginia order. On the outside corner, check swing, not enough. Close pitch. Woo-hoo! Borderline to hold off on that one. We'll reset 2-2 the count. 1 out. 2 men on. Coming set is Downs. Breaking ball off the plate. Full count. Oh, man. The drama. What an inning for the Mountaineers. Seeing the replay there. Pitch swung on by Smith. Breaks through the left side. That'll score 1. The throw by Vakini down to home plate. Cut off by Garza. And that'll score 2. Sean Smith with a 2 RBI single. In between the shortstop Castellon and the third baseman Garza. 2 RBI. We'll make it now 7-1. Gavin Kelly scoring. Whew, and still just 1 out. Runners on the corners. As West Virginia's bat through the order, that'll bring back up Matthew Groveland, who scored the first run of the ball game for the Mountaineers after he hit a double that was just a blooper down the right field line, hit the white turf, stayed fair, was able to steal third and then come home on a double steal, swung on sharply, fouled off down the right field line on the place where the section where West Virginia would love to have more seats. A grassy knoll inside Kendrick Family Ballpark in right field. Kelly, I'm sorry. I advanced it. Kelly stayed at third. Apologies. Runners on the corners. 6-1 your lead. Groveland evens the count at 1-1. Kelly on third. Smith on first. Groveland up. The pitch high and away at high and in at Groveland's eyes, 2-1. Just 1 RBI credited to Smith. Fouled off by Groveland, 2-2. The count. And Downs has now thrown 17 pitches in just his 1 out's worth of work. Having to work hard for this Cal Poly defense. Here's the pitch, low and in the turf, down by the feet of Groveland. And West Virginia just has disciplined hitters, y'all. They're not going to swing at bad pitches. I think they learned that the hard way. That's how you beat good teams. That's how you take advantage of lesser competition as well. Pickoff play at first. Smith just takes off, and he gets in there at second. Faking the throw is Garza, and because of the camera angle, I can't see. Kelly stays at third. Downs had Smith picked off at first. Smith was trying to get into a rundown to force the throw home, but he just eventually will have to take it instead himself at second base, and Kelly will stay at second. So stolen base for Smith on the pickoff play. Swung on, Groveland up the middle, fielded by the second baseman Downing, and he gets Groveland out at first base. 4-3 goes the putout. But in to score the game's 7th run for West Virginia is Gavin Kelly. And that'll move Sean Smith over to first. That was a weakly hit grounder by Groveland. Could have been fielded by the pitcher Downs, but his body was just kind of contorted on his follow through of the pitch. Wasn't in a good fielding position. Here's Einish, struck a ground ball to the shortstop, Castillon over to first, Spiridonov, and that'll send West Virginia down for the third out of the inning. So to clean that one up, West Virginia scores 7 runs in the second on one, 2, 3, 4 hits. No errors, but a lot of miscues by on the inning by Cal Poly. West Virginia left one runner aboard on base, and we'll go to the bottom or the top of the third. Whoo, boy. So that closes the book on Turnquist. Downs gave up 2 more runs. I'm trying to clean up my scorebook here. Yeah, a hit batsman and a walk, but Downs didn't give up a hit in relief there. Didn't get a strikeout, but did give up 2 runs. So that cleans it up. Whew, we turn the score sheet back over. And now Max Yell has some run support. He's been off the field for over a half hour as West Virginia worked Cal Poly. Let's see if now, pitching with 6 runs of support and a 6-run lead, that Yell can kind of work the game into the middle innings. West Virginia can win this one. Punch their ticket to Omaha. What a battle here by Georgia and Mississippi State. This game, a high-scoring affair. Now 9-8 in the top of the set. Oh, another home run, tying it back up. Troy and Arkansas Little Rock at 3 o'clock. If Troy wins that game, it'll win the Super Regional round, and that's who West Virginia will play next week in the first game of the College World Series. Brings up Gavin Spiridonov, the first baseman, 291 average, 4 home runs, 26 RBIs on the season. He's first pitch he sees from Yell's a ball, and a strike right down the pipe. Yell looking to get right back into his rhythm, into a flow. Throw him now 26 pitches on an last inning that was led off by an error, and that's who scored the first run. Swung through a Spiridonov on a pitch he wanted to check his swing up around his neck. 1-2 the count, with West Virginia leading 7-1 in the bottom of the second. Here's Yell's delivery. way high and outside, 93 miles per hour. Evens the count 2-2. Spiriting off yesterday was 1 for 4 with a run scored, struck out twice. Yell's pitch is outside. Full count now. Yell not so far as efficient as I've seen him on the season, but still throwing a lot of strikes. Low and inside, struck out. Spiranoff swings hard, but can't catch up to the heat on Max Yell. That's his second strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts now for the redshirt junior. Big 12 pitcher of the year. First team all Big 12. And had an incredible bounce-back performance last Monday against Kentucky in Game 7 of the Morgantown Regional. Dante Vecchini, the left fielder, stepping up to the plate. 283 average, 2 home runs, and 23 RBIs. Sees a first pitch strike by Yell, fastball 92 miles per hour on the inner half of the plate. Vecchini yesterday, 1 for 4 with a strikeout in Game 1. Yell's delivery, chopped there by Vecchini down the left field line, foul off. Quickly goes 0-2. As they're showing notable Cal Poly baseball alumni on the broadcast. I did in my research find Ozzie Smith. I've heard of Mike Krukow, although that was in the early 70s. Mitch Haniger of the Seattle Mariners was on my fantasy baseball team a few years ago. Low and outside, strike 3. Strikeout looking goes Vecchini. Back-to-back Ks for Max Yell, and maybe he's found it, y'all. Whew! Man, you couldn't have hit that with a driver. Just paints the lower outside corner. With a tennis racket, he couldn't have touched that one. 33 pitches now for Yell. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. First pitch he sees right on the outside corner. This is Jake Downing, the second baseman. 272 average, 2 home runs, 37 RBIs. Yesterday, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts against the combination of Chanson Cole, Reese Bassinger, and Carson Estrich for the Mountaineer bullpen. 1-1 the count, 7-1 your score. West Virginia in the top of the second. Pitch outside. Yell just looks like he's cranked up to a whole new level, man. Just need to get those first inning jitters. And pitch swung on hard there by Downing, swung through it, up at his neck, couldn't touch it. Yell doing an awesome job of changing the eye level of these Cal Poly hitters. They have no idea. They're just guessing up there. Swung on, chopped down the left field line. They don't know if they're going to see a low and away breaking ball, high and in fastball. Hard to touch, the Big 12's pitcher of the year. Who outside that start last weekend against Kentucky's just been phenomenal this season. Coming set is Yale out of the stretch with nobody on. Fires it to the shortstop, Einish. Cleans it, throws it over cleanly, gets Armani Guzman for the 6-3 putout. Easy inning for the West Virginia defense, led by Max Yell. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no man left on. Let's see if West Virginia can add to its lead. If you're tuning in live here, hit that thumbs up like button. Really appreciate that, as that helps out the algorithm to get more Mountaineer fans to see this video across YouTube. And I would love to have you a subscriber to my channel if you're tuning in for the first time, or if you just love watching videos about podcasts and college baseball for the Mountaineers. Also talk West Virginia football and basketball each and every week. So tell your friends, tell your family, and tell your dog. And I have a lot of fun doing it. Woo. Feel free to drop your comments in the chat. Ask your questions. Anything on your mind about this West Virginia team now that's kind of settling in with a 7-1 lead. after an awesome bottom of the second inning. West Virginia will have Brody Kresser due up 7-8-9. Brody Kresser, Ben Lumsden, Tyrus Hall, the guys who really got it going for the Mountaineers in the second inning. Whew, yeah, West Virginia now with 19 runs so far, just over a game. 12 runs yesterday on 14 hits, 7 extra base hits, 8 walks. And that's the thing. West Virginia left 6 runners on base in scoring position, so could have potentially added more against Cal Poly. But we'll see. His outing Downs is out for his second inning relief. First pitch he throws to Kresser, a strike right down the pipe, knee high. Kresser's last time up was walked. Worked the count after being in the hole with 2 strikes early. Worked the count up. Kevin Brown, I'm seeing behind home plate, I think with Malik Agbo. Here's the pitch by Downs, swung on, chopped outside, foul ball outside of Kendrick Family Ballpark. Probably on Randy's Ridge somewhere. 1-2, top of the third, 7-1. West Virginia leads Cal Poly. Whoa, and that pitch way upstairs. Yeah, definitely Malik Agbo, Kevin Brown behind home plate for West Virginia. Couple of offensive linemen from the football team. Here's the pitch by Downs, swung on by Kresser, sharply hit line drive into center field. Getting to it quickly is Casey Murray Jr. Kresser will stop back to first. Good stroke there by the senior. Second time he's reached base today. Downs gives up his first hit in relief. 25 pitches in. That'll bring up Ben Lumsden. 3-run home run, just like he did a week ago against Binghamton in the second inning. Let's see what he does now as an encore. Downs comes set with the delivery on the outside corner. Called a strike on Lumsden. Man, what can you say about Ben Lumsden this postseason getting the start? Pickoff throw. Downs almost threw it over the head of the first baseman, Spiridonov. Lumsden 1 for 4 yesterday with 2 RBIs, a run scored, and walked. Did leave 5 men on base yesterday, but coming through today with a 3-run jack. Low and in the turf, outside, 1-1 the count. With Brody Kresser over on first base. Nobody out here in the top of the third. Downs delivers. Lumsden swung on. Ground ball over the first baseman, Spiridonov. Taps first base, fires down to the shortstop, casting on. Tries to tag Brody Kresser, but he's safe. So 3 unassisted. Down goes Ben Lumsden, but Brody Kresser able to reach second base. Lumsden, good contact, but not hit hard enough to get through the line or get through by down the first base line past Spiridonov, just right there in the right place. Taps first over to second base. Here's Tyrus Hall now with a runner in scoring position. Swung at the first pitch as he sees, rolls over to the third baseman, Garza, over to Spiridonov, moves Kresser over to third, but down Tyrus Hall goes 5-3. 2,242 miles separate Morgantown, West Virginia, and San Luis Obispo, the home of Cal Poly. Just the first time that Cal Poly has played in the Eastern time zone since its first series of the season back in mid-February against Campbell University in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. Here's Guzman seeing a pitch upstairs, a ball. The leadoff man, just in the third inning, this is his third at bat already. Hit by a pitch in his last at bat and flied out to center field in the first. Pitch low and away, outside, 2-0. Working the count is Guzman with Brody Kresser on third base. West Virginia leads Cal Poly 7-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the third. The pitch by Downs, stroked by Guzman. See ya later. His first home run of the season puts West Virginia up 9-1, and man, that smile, man. You could put that in Times Square. Just absolutely cranked it. Turned on it, hands through the zone. West Virginia now up 9-1, opening up a can of, on Cal Poly. Wow. Armani Guzman, baby. 2-run home run, his first of the year, scoring Kresser. Don't you just love this as a Mountaineer fan? Another hit allowed by Downs. 2 more runs. Here's Gavin Kelly. Let's see if he can add on with 2 outs. The pitch swung hard through the zone, fouled off, out of play. My gosh. Just West Virginia, man. I'm on a new level. 33 pitches now for Turnquist. 0-1 the count on Kelly. 2 outs, top of the third. West Virginia now home runs, doing the damage. Outside for a ball. As now some fans right behind the plate are taking their shirt off. I don't know. I don't know if this yet constitutes taking their shirt off. Fans are cheering about something out in right field. Focusing on the batter, here's Kelly. High and away, outside for a ball. Kelly on the day had a single in the first, and then was walked in the second and scored a run eventually. But he wants another hit. High and outside delivery. I just don't know if you're Larry Lee. What do you do? You spent 6 arms yesterday, could bring in somebody else, but your best man, Turnquist, couldn't give you more than an inning. Now Downs is giving everything he can, but more runs. Swung on. Gavin Kelly crushes one out toward the scoreboard at the wall. Warning track. He'll trot into second base for a double. Oh, man, another maybe 3 feet, and Kelly'd have a home run. Pounded that ball to deep left center field. Good wood on it. Turned his hips, hands through the zone, muscles it into left center field, almost 400 feet. And Downs just, I don't think he has an answer. It's just like, what do I do? What do I do? These guys are tattooing it. 385 feet, 109 miles per hour off the bat of Kelly. Here's Schoenfeld. Swung on through the right side. Will Kelly test Kordich's arm? He will. Play at the plate. Saved by Gavin Kelly. Schoenfeld. Woo! Coming through with an RBI, baby. He'll stay at first base. Man, in a blink of an eye like that, first pitch Schoenfeld sees, he likes it. And the tag just behind Gavin Kelly, good enough speed, skinny enough, leans back, touches home plate. Yeah, Taman never made the tag on Kelly. Now he scores the 10th run of the ball game from West Virginia. I'm going to have to flip over my scorecard once again, or my scoreboard. Get it back to 0. Holy mackerel. Good speed by Kelly. Good arm, good throw by Kordich. Right where it needed to be. Kelly's slide and speed, just the difference there. And Taman not enough on the tag. Schoenfeld with an RBI. And the coaching staff talking it over with Downs in the infield. That's now the 5th run allowed by Downs. No answer for this West Virginia offense that's just on a new level right now. 10-10 your score in Georgia between the Bulldogs and the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. And the fans are loving it. They deserve it for what they paid for tickets to be there at Kendrick Family Ballpark. Wow. Enjoy. Eat your heart out, Mountaineer Nation. I love it. Sean Smith will trot back up to the plate. Two outs. Schoenfeld on first. Check swing went through the zone was Smith. Smith on the day. 1 for 2. Or excuse me, 1 for 2. With I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I got my mess up here on my scoreboard. Yeah, 1 for 2 with a single, RBI, stolen base, does have a strikeout. Here's the pitch, low and outside in the left-hander's batter's box. Smith evens the count at 1. There's maybe 1 million people over on Randy's Ridge if you're if you're watching the ESPN2 broadcast as well as listening to me. Holy mackerel. This is just an incredible showing by West Virginia baseball and its fans. This is what's so fun. When the fans are behind the team and the team is producing for the fans, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it in college sports. Here's Downs. Way up at the eyes of Sean Smith that he takes for a ball. Schoenfeld over on first. 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. West Virginia now leading Cal Poly 10-1. Another pickoff attempt by Downs. As we're approaching 1:30 in the afternoon, real time. Downs comes set, delivers to Smith. Smith swings through it. Man, couldn't hit that with a tennis racket. Down in the turf. I think Smith just wanting to connect bat with ball on a pitch he shouldn't have swung at in the turf. That's okay. Evening the count, 2-2, regroup, recollect, swung on, misses it. Taman's not able to catch it, but Smith is down on strikes. He'll be tapped by Taman for the 3rd out of the inning, but West Virginia does damage at the plate once again with 3 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. No errors. But West Virginia leaves 1 on base. No damage as West Virginia ends the inning now with a 10-run lead going into the 3rd. Or in the bottom of the 3rd. Bringing Max Yell back up for another inning. Whew! Boy, this is fun, Mountaineer Nation. This is fun. How you feeling out there? Oh, hi, Mom. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your comment. Hope y'all are having fun. Mountaineers crushing Cal Poly. Maxiell with 3 strikes on the day so far and 2 complete innings, 1 run allowed. But since then, it's been all West Virginia because of the offense. Whew. Beautiful. So, talking about West Virginia's home, let's talk about West Virginia's team making some news this past week in recruiting. West Virginia received a commitment out of the transfer portal from Zach Whitney. This was on Wednesday, of Southern New Hampshire University at the Division II level, 6'3", 195-pound sophomore, the Northeast 10 Conference Rookie of the Year, went 7-2 on the year in 15 appearances with 13 starts, 81 innings pitched, a 3.89 ERA, 3 complete games, 95 strikeouts. That's 12 strikeouts per 9 innings to just 30 walks and 12 hit batsmen. Did have a 2.77 ERA. He threw 90 plus pitches or went 7 innings 8 times. So big time transfer portal addition for this Mountaineer squad that continues to add from the Division 2, 3, and JUCO levels, in addition to the 43rd recruiting class in the nation out of the high school rounds. And that ball swatted up into center field. That was the leadoff man, Nate Castillon, who did reach base due to an error in the first inning, but flies out to center field to lead off the bottom of the third. Yes, Cal Poly, the home team, though playing in Morgantown. Because West Virginia was the home team in game 1, Cal Poly gets the opportunity to be the home team in game 2. Here's Garza. First pitch he sees upstairs for a ball. He flew out to center field in his first at bat in the first inning. Playing third base. Yale up to 42 pitches now for the game. Here's his delivery. Swung on, threw it, missed by Garza. Swung hard through that one. Garza 1 for 5 yesterday in game 1 with an RBI. Did strike out. Here's Yell. Gets Garza to foul it back off toward the West Virginia dugout down the first base line. Yale coming set, 1-2 count against Garza with the delivery. Gets him to pop it up to the second baseman, Brody Kresser, corrals it, catches it for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Dylan Kordich, who singled and advanced to second base on a hit batsman in the first inning. Kordich, of course, did the damage for Cal Poly in yesterday's contest, 2 for 4, with a run scored and an RBI in his just 10 home runs on the season, bats lefty with 2 outs. West Virginia leads 10-1 in the bottom of the third against Cal Poly. And with the win, not only sets a single season wins record as a program, but advances to the College Baseball World Series for the first time in over 130 years of West Virginia baseball, as everyone in the state of West Virginia is at Kendrick Family Ballpark or around Kendrick Family Ballpark. Looks like a good time. High and away, outside, Yell wants another ball. Max Yell, Monday against Kentucky, went 5 innings pitched on 67 pitches. Low, down below the knees of Garza. Gave up only 1 run on 3 hits with 2 hit batsmen and 6 strikeouts, looking much more efficient in today's effort. Here's the pitch up the middle, gloved by Einish on the grounder to the shortstop. Over to first, Armani Guzman ends the inning. Efficient work there by Max Yell. He's now sent down the last 7 Cal Poly batters in order. Get this West Virginia offense back up to the plate. No runs, no hits, no errors with no men left on base in the bottom of the third sends Cal or West Virginia up 10-1. Ooh. And we'll see whether Cal Poly gives Chris Downs another inning or if it goes to somebody else. But I just don't know who Larry Lee goes to. Lee has had 1035 win campaigns for the Mustangs, the Big West Conference record holder for career wins. This is the 5th time that Cal Poly has been to past the end or in the NCAA postseason. He was the co-coach of the year in the Big West. Casey Murray Jr., also the defensive player of the year for the Mustangs, who have a really good program. They can really thank the 4-year facelift and expansion and renovation that happened to Baggett Stadium back from 2018 to 21 that included a new clubhouse, new scoreboard, expanding Baggett Stadium to 3,100 seats that it can hold. It's a big baseball school, also big for engineering, also for agriculture, wine country there in San Luis Obispo, halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco. 22,000 undergraduates, which makes Cal Poly actually a little bit larger in terms of total enrollment than West Virginia University. It's a campus that sits on 10,000 acres worth of land. We'll see Chris Downs come out for his 3rd inning in relief for the Mustangs. Gave up 3 runs in the 3rd, and in the 2nd came in relief for Turnquist, who'd given up 5 runs and gave up 2 more. So coming up to the plate, Matthew Groveland for the 4th. Groveland scored West Virginia's first run of the day thanks to his blooper out into right field that hit on the line, on the foul line, trotted into second base, and eventually scored West Virginia's first run, starting off this offensive explosion. First pitch, he sees a ball, swung on, hit hard down the left field line, foul ball, past the third baseman, Garza. Downs now up to 45 pitches, starting into his 3rd inning of relief with a 9-run deficit. Here's Groveland on the inner half, called a strike. 1-2. Groveland, the senior transfer from Ohio State, Centerville, Ohio native, playing a lot of outfield for the Mountaineers this season. Next pitch he sees outside in the turf, goes a ball. Swinging with a really light pink and fluorescent pink and light blue bat. I don't know what these baseball players think with their bat colors these days, but chopped down to the third baseman, Garza, flips it over to the first baseman, Spiridonov, who does a frontward split to make the catch on that ball and put Groveland out for the out. Hit it hard, just right at Garza. We get the replay. Hit about 3 times, fired it over to first base was Garza. He was not going to give Groveland a chance to get to first base. Goes the first out of the inning. Here's Matt Einish up to the plate. The first pitch he sees right down the heart of the plate for a strike. Einish on the day walked in the 2nd inning, eventually scored a run with a stolen base and grounded out to the shortstop Castellone in the 3rd, as well as in the 2nd to end the 2nd. Next pitch he sees on the outside corner, strike 2. Now 50 pitches for Chris Downs. With 1 out here in the top of the 4th, Cal Poly trailing West Virginia 10-1. Here's the pitch. low and in the turf on Einish. Einish, a Michigan native, transferred to West Virginia from Ohio University this past offseason and has locked down that shortstop position with Brody Kresser taking over at second base. The pitch by Downs, right back at him. Einish made contact and it just fluttered right back at Downs. Man, it must have had 1,000 miles per hour of spin on it, but Downs gloves it easily for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Brody Kresser, who was walked in the second, score a run, and in the third inning, singled, made it all the way around to score. Good wood on it. Kresser into second, into the outfield, gets his, second hit of the game, reaches base, his third time of the game in the top of the fourth inning. Love that for Brody Kresser. On fire. With 2 outs here in the top of the fourth, gives West Virginia a base runner for Ben Lumsden, who hit a 3-run jack in the second and then grounded out to the first baseman in the third on a fielder's choice. West Virginia up 10-1 for Ben Lumsden's squad. Slow breaking curveball on the inner half. Lumsden takes the first pitch he sees for a strike. Downs delivers down the middle. Lumsden makes contact. It's going. It's gone again. He gets another one. Ben Lumsden is just locked in, ladies and gentlemen. Lumsden just puts his bat out there. Wow. Just looking to make contact. And it just goes and goes and goes. It's only 327 feet. Only 93 miles per hour, but gets good enough wood on it in the right location, drifts for West Virginia's 12th home run or 12th run of this game. Wow. Scoring Brody Kresser from first. That'll bring up Tyrus Hall now, who also has a home run in this game. Downs with a slow breaking ball, 80 miles per hour. Wow. Another hit allowed by Downs. 2 more runs allowed by Downs, but Larry Lee's got to stick with him. Hard hit by Tyrus Hall down the right field line, foul. A line drive that who knows, with the way the ball's just carrying out of Kendrick Family Ballpark. Who knows if that one? No, I'm just kidding. But Ben Lumsden's, I thought that was just a weakly hit fly ball in the left field, but no, carried out of here, baby. Love it. 0-2 the count on Tyrus Hall here in the top of the fourth. 2 outs. Low and in the turf, blocked by Taman. Ben Lumsden coming into this postseason. No home runs, just 7 RBIs. Now he has 3 home runs and close to 20 RBIs. Yeah, 19 for the season. Whew, just on a new level. I can't repeat myself enough saying that. 2-2 the count on Hall. Worked a couple of balls thrown by Chris Downs, who's going to be throwing now his 60th pitch of just 2 complete innings of relief. Swung hard by Tyrus Hall at the right fielder. Kordich slides in to try and make the catch. Can't come up with it. An overthrow. Tyrus Hall stay at first base on the sharply hit line drive into right field. And I think Kordich is hurt. I don't know if his pride's hurt, his foot's hurt from sliding in and banging into the wall, or trying to make the catch there on the sharply hit line drive to right field by Hall. Lays out, hits him in the leg or arm. Kordich could have made the catch. It was a catchable ball. just at the very last second lost track of it, and he's down. He and his mustache are down. It's been a tough day for Kordich, beating himself up out there. Maybe if he didn't have those gigantic sunglasses out there and just, focused in on catching the ball, he'd be able to see it. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit jaded out there. But man, that gives West Virginia another base runner. Now the 5th hit allowed by Chris Downs on the day. And Cal Poly just having absolutely no answer for this West Virginia offense as Mississippi State's now taking the lead on Georgia 11-10. Troy and Little Rock, we might be finding out West Virginia's opponent in the College Baseball World Series if it punches its ticket, completes this game, and gets a win. If Troy's able to beat Little Rock again, it'll be Mountaineers, Trojans in Omaha. And those two teams would await the winner of North Carolina and USC. USC has the 1-game win advantage, winning game 1 yesterday in the North Carolina Super Regional. And then the nation's number 4 seed Auburn trails Ole Miss by 1 game in that Super Regional series. So we'll see lots still to play out over the weekend. Every team in the Super Regional rounds in competition today. Kansas taking on Oklahoma at 6 o'clock. Oregon and Texas starting off their series at 8 o'clock Eastern. And then St. John's taking on the number 7 seed Alabama at 9 p.m. That game on ESPN2. So if you like college baseball, this is the day for you. The last weekend was the weekend for you into the regional rounds as well. But man, a lot of fun today. And I won't be carrying any other games other than West Virginia's, but so far so good. Chris Downs taking a trot off the field. I think that's all we've seen from Chris Downs, as Kordich still being looked at by the trainers, but Cal Poly going to go to the bullpen. And let's see if they have somebody else that they can, throw batting practice to this West Virginia lineup. We'll have to see how long head coach Steve Saban gives Max Yell. He's gotten locked in on the mound defensively. If he can continue to keep it up, West Virginia's got a lot of options. Only through Reese Bassinger for 1 inning yesterday, Carson Estrich for 1 inning, and 2 innings of relief of Chanson Cole, who was phenomenal. 121 pitches, 7 innings complete, 8 hits allowed, just 2 earned runs with 11 strikeouts. Chanson Cole was fantastic. So could West Virginia go to Ben McDougal? Could it go to Ian Korn? Options. It's nice to have options. It's nice to not be in a place of desperation like West Virginia was in the Super Regionals last year in Baton Rouge against LSU, the nation's number 1 team that ended up winning a national championship. So I'll go back to it. Let's talk as we have a commercial break. Is Cal Poly going to work in another pitcher about West Virginia? Always looking ahead. Could again punch its ticket to the first ever college baseball World Series appearance in program history. But for next season, players who are out of eligibility for West Virginia: Paul Schoenfeld, Reese Bassinger, Ian Korn, Brody Kresser, Sean Smith, Ben McDougal, Carson Estrich, Ben Lumsden, Luke Lyman, Brock Wills, and Matthew Groveland. Starters who could return, as now we get Corden Petty on the mound. Corden Petty, excuse me. Let me mark that on my score sheet. As it looks like Kordich is back in. I'll come back to that point in between innings here on who's going to be returning next year for West Virginia baseball. Here's Armani Guzman. First pitch he sees outside for a ball. 2 outs, man on first base. That's Tyrus Hall, who just singled in his at-bat. Here in the top of the fourth time now Armani Guzman has come to the plate for the Mountaineers. Ball in the dirt. Hall take off for second base, and he's got that one easily as the throw by Taman way wide. And looking at the numbers for Taman coming into this contest, I know people were trying to compare him to Gavin Kelly, at least statistically, offensively, but Kelly just no way in a cut above for sure. 2-0 count on Guzman, way out and away. Petty not finding the plate. 3 straight balls coming into his first relief appearance of this Super Regional. Didn't pitch yesterday for the Mustangs. He comes set now with Hall on second base, delivering to Guzman right down the heart of the plate. Guzman in his last at bat had a 2-run home run, his first home run of the season. Also reached Bates by a hit by pitch in the second and scored a run. Flew out to center field in the first inning. Petty looks back at Hall, delivers, swung on by Guzman to the second baseman Downing, throws it over to Spiridonov at first, and that'll be it for the Mountaineers in the fourth inning. But thanks to the 2-run jack by Ben Lumsden, West Virginia gets 2 more on 3 hits. No errors, did leave a man on base, but no problem. West Virginia now leads 12-1 as I need to flip my scoreboard. You can yell at me if I'm slow on updating the scoreboard. Let me know in the comments. And would love to have you like this video so more Mountaineer fans could see it across YouTube, and would love to have you as a subscriber to my channel, Fox on West Virginia Mountaineer Sports. Feel free to leave your comment or your questions in the chat. But I was talking right there before Guzman stepped out to the plate. What does West Virginia's team look like next year? Well, with how many players that it's going to need to retain out of its starting lineup, West Virginia has Max Yell, but Max Yell could be destined to the Major League Baseball draft. Dawson Montes a junior, so he has eligibility for next year. Tyrus Hall's a junior. Armani Guzman's a junior, but he is draft eligible as well as Hall. Chanson Cole's just a sophomore. David Hagan's just a sophomore. He was West Virginia's 5th starter this year, midweek guy. Matt Einish, just a sophomore. Josh Surigao, just a sophomore. Gavin Kelly, if Gavin Kelly were 6 months older older, y'all, he would be draft eligible, but he is not because he doesn't turn 21 till December. So he's got to come back for another year of college baseball. That is to West Virginia's benefit. And then David Perez, who did unfortunately go down with a season-ending injury. Seeing him wearing a brace on his right leg. It was either his right or his left leg. So he's unfortunately done for the year, but we'll see if he will hopefully get some news in between in the offseason to see what happens with him. So Max Yell back out for his 4th inning of starting pitching. Blows the ball right past Ryan Taman for a strike to start off his at-bat. Yell now with 3 strikeouts on the day just through his 51st pitch. So very efficient pitching. That ball goes outside. A little bit rough of a first inning after he gave up a run, but since then has completely settled in and sent the last 7 Cal Poly batters down in order. Upstairs, 2-1. Yeah. Steve Saban's finishing a mid-game interview. He loves those mid-game interviews. Just absolutely locked in from pre-game all the way through the final out is Steve Saban's. Pitch goes outside, tracking pitches, everything. It's just like, interrupting an accountant during tax season. Just the way I feel like Steve Saban just hates having to be interrupted to talk to the media during the game. Fastball, low inside corner. Yale gets it to 3-2 on Cal Poly's best hitter, Ryan Taman, who has 18 home runs on the season. The delivery, outside for a ball. Taman walks, and that breaks the streak that Yale was on for sending batters down in order. Yale's first walk of the game, pretty efficient on the season, only giving up 24 walks, 17 hit batsmen. Not as efficient as Ian Korn. Ian Korn only giving up 10 walks on the season with 5 hit batsmen. But Yale's still pretty good in between kind of where Ian Korn and Dawson Montesa are. All right, and that'll bring Cam Hoyland back up to the plate, who was hit by a pitch controversially on a pitch that he leaned into there in the first inning. He elongated the first inning number of pitches that Yale had to throw. Evens the count at 1-1. Now with the man on first base, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth with West Virginia leading 12-1. A pitch by Yale, easy strike call, 92 miles per hour, paints the outside corner low at the knees. Beautiful pitch. This will be Yale's 60th pitch coming up, as they show Randy Mazey. He's been there every single game this regional and super regional round. Hoyland weakly swung through the pitch. Foolish. Max Yale just made Hoyland look foolish on that last at bat, getting his 4th strikeout of the day. Hoyland just didn't know what to do there. Casey Murray comes up to the plate. He struck out swinging to end the first inning. First time he's back up to the plate. Now with 1 out, West Virginia leading Cal Poly 12-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. Taman on first after walking. Here's Murray. Second pitch he sees, low and inside, but called a strike. I think there's Ross Hodge there too behind home plate. I'm pretty sure. I can identify I think so. Men's head basketball coach. Here's the pitch by Yale, down low and in for a ball, 2-1. Murray, the Big West defensive player of the year, but offensively was batting .321 coming into today's contest. Swung on to the shortstop, Einish, flips it over to Kresser for the first one and gets the double play out at first. Armani Guzman Yaxiel is dealing, y'all. 6, 4, 3, go. The Mustangs there in the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And let's see if West Virginia can continue to add on offensively. How many runs is too many for the old gold and blue? As now Yale completes his 4th inning pitched. Pitcher's best friend, the double play. Always will take that one. My Cal Poly side a little bit weak here. Not a lot to write here. A lot of quick, easy outs, quick, easy innings. Meanwhile, for West Virginia, Armani Guzman's already had 4 at-bats. Now we'll bring up Gavin Kelly, who will having his 4th at-bat in just the 5th inning. Guess that's what you get when you get a high-scoring affair. See if Caden Petty comes back out for another inning in relief. So, love to know your thoughts, Mountaineer Nation, if you're tuning into this broadcast. Like, how far do you think West Virginia can go? You think West Virginia can win this game, get to the College World Series? Do you like the way that the bracket's kind of breaking right now with Troy or Little Rock as West Virginia's first opponent in the College World Series, then playing potentially either a combination of Southern California, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Auburn. And the way that this team is playing right now, I do think, competition plays a factor, at least here in the super regional level. But man, just West Virginia's hot. Hot at the plate, hot defensively. coming through and winning those Kentucky games, man, just made the world of difference. Just had to get through that regional level with two tough opponents in Wake Forest and Kentucky. Petty will pitch now here in the top of the fifth to Gavin Kelly, whose first pitch he sees is a strike, 0-1. West Virginia leads 12-1 here in the top of the fifth. The delivery by Petty. Oh, Gavin Kelly sent that to the moon, y'all. If it stays fair, it's gone, and it does. Solo shot by Gavin Kelly, his 17th of the year. Too easy. Just hung that fastball right over the heart of the plate. Oh, man. He unloaded on it for West Virginia's now 13th run of the ball game. Insane. I think this is West Virginia's now highest scoring affair. I have to look this up. Highest scoring affair of the season. Scoring its 13th run, scored 12 yesterday. I'll have to look that one up in between innings or at some point in time. Whew. Boy. Just over the chicken is fair Chick-fil-A left field foul ball. Kelly sent that one to the moon. Moon high arcing shot. Here's Paul Schoenfeld now. Swing through the second pitch he sees, 1-1, evening the count, who had an RBI single in his last at bat. Here's Schoenfeld. Makes contact down in the left field corner in front of the warning track. He'll get into second for the stand-up double. Making good contact there was Paul Schoenfeld on the swing. West Virginia's got another base runner in scoring position. Paul Schoenfeld now 2 for 3 on the day with a sacrifice bunt as well. Good speed around the bases. Trots into second with the open chest. Love what he's doing offensively today. Puts on the sliding mitt. Hate those personally, but whatever. West Virginia now 13 runs, 3 doubles, 5 home runs. And we got a check swing right under the chin, right under the hands of Sean Smith. Looked like it almost hit him on the check swing. Called a strike, 0-1. Nobody out. Schoenfeld on second. West Virginia leading now 13-1 in the top of the fifth. Upstairs. Smith's now 4th at bat of the game. Does have an RBI single, but struck out twice in both the first and third innings. Here's Petty. Inside for a ball. Two and 1 the count. Feel free to leave your comments here in the comments section. What do you think of these Mountaineers, baby? Upstairs, close pitch to take. Paul Schoenfeld just steals third straight. Petty didn't even look at him. Moves up 90 feet for closer to West Virginia scoring its 14th run. Garza didn't even he broke for third late, but no play at all. Taman doesn't even throw down. Petty's delivery. Smith makes contact down the right field line, foul. Probably up on Randy's Ridge somewhere. Count goes full. Nobody out. As the wind is roaring there at Kendrick Family Ballpark. ESPN broadcast showing the United States, West Virginia, and WVU flags, and they are moving. High and inside, Smith will take his base down at first on a walk. And does Larry Lee come and pull Petty? I'd say he's thinking about it. Runners on the corners, nobody out. But I mean, who does Cal Poly go to? Turnquist didn't work. Chris Downs hasn't worked. Petty hasn't worked. Here's Matthew Groveland, who's 1 for 3 in the day. On the pitch on the outer half, called a strike. Now Petty up to 17 pitches. Groveland hit a double, stole third base, scored the game's first run of the game for West Virginia in the second, but has grounded out twice ever since. In the pitch, here's another grounder to the shortstop, Castillon, over to the second baseman, Downing, and gets spirited off over to first, but that'll score Schoenfeld on the 6-4-3 double play. But Matthew Groveland gets an RBI, and West Virginia is now up 14-1. That'll bring up Matt Einish. 2 outs now. First pitch he sees from Petty, low down at his feet. Einish on the day walked, stole a base, and scored a run in the second. Grounded out to shortstop, and then hit a line drive back to the pitcher in his last at bat in the last inning. Swung through that fastball right down the heart of the plate. Now 20 pitches for Petty. Top of the 5th, 2 outs now for the Mountaineer offense. And the pitch, fouled off by Einish. West Virginia scored 6 runs in the second, scored 3 runs in the third, scored 2 runs in the fourth, and now 2 runs here in the 5th. 4 out of the 5 times West Virginia's come to the plate, it's scored runs. Whew. That's how you do it, baby. Here's the pitch. Einish fouls it off down the right field line for a foul ball. Yeah, Cal Poly went to its second team all-conference pitcher in Carson Turnquist, and he could only give him 1 inning complete. They're showing him in the dugout. Out of the windup, Petty to Einish, flares a ball up. Will it stay in play? Corralling under it is the third baseman Garza for the out. And that will end the West Virginia top of the 5th inning. In the 5th, West Virginia gets 2 runs on 2 hits with nobody left aboard and no errors. West Virginia leads 14-1 here in the Super Regional. We'll turn the scorecard over. West Virginia's recruiting for next season. It got junior college, redshirt junior outfielder Seth Williams from Galveston College back in November. In January, it received a commitment from Johnson County Community College at the JUCO level, first baseman Colin Coonrad, who previously played at Iowa in 2025. In April, it got USC Sumter Junior College's sophomore infielder Ryan Pie-Katowski, a third baseman. And on May 12th, it got a transfer commitment from Marietta College at the Division III level, senior pitcher Austin Zients. On May 20th, it received a commitment from Odessa College JUCO sophomore pitcher Corey Alston. On May 25th, Ashland University at the Division II levels, redshirt junior starting pitcher Drew Becker, the GMAC Conference Pitcher of the Year. And then the other day, on Wednesday, Southern New Hampshire Division II sophomore pitcher Zach Whitney committed to the Mountaineers. So how many, between JUCO players and players from the Division II and Division III level, that's the way head coach Steve Sabins is rebuilding this lineup, with a lot of players still going to return for 2027, presumably, if it can retain. Anything can happen in this crazy world of unlimited free agency and uncapped from a salary and payroll perspective enterprise that is college sports nowadays. But if West Virginia can bring these players back with what it's adding next year, I don't think we're going to see a huge drop-off. Here's Max Yell back out for his fifth inning. In the bottom of the fifth, he's now getting closer. He will throw as many pitches as he did in Monday's contest against Kentucky. Head coach Steve Saban's letting the redshirt senior go. High and inside for a ball. Now 2-0 the count on Gavin Spiridanoff, who struck out swinging in the second inning. Coming set is Yale with the pitch right on the lower inside corner for a strike. Beautiful ball there. This is the first ever Super Regional appearance in Cal Poly baseball history. Swung on through the pitch was Spiridanoff. Now it goes to 2 strikes, 2-2 here in the bottom of the fifth. I got a clap of thunder here at my house. I wonder if Morgantown's going to be getting any weather in the near vicinity. Swung on down the right field line, corralling under it is Lumsden for the catch. Spiridanoff with the lightly hit fly ball to right field. Gives Cal Poly its first out of the bottom of the fifth. Cloudy skies in Morgantown and go from straight sun to overcast. That kind of is the case in our neck of the world. Never know what you're going to get in summer. Bottom of the fifth, 1 out. Here's Dante Vecchini, who struck out looking in the second. He was Maxiel's third strikeout threat. He's got 4 for the day. 0-1 the count. The delivery by Yale. Good contact by Vecchini. He drops a line drive right in front of Ben Lumsden for a single, giving Cal Poly just its second hit of the game, but a much-needed base runner if the Mustangs are going to try and chip at this West Virginia lead. Vecchini now 2 for 6 on the Super Regional. That'll bring up Jake Downing, who grounded out to short in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch he sees from Yale outside for a ball. Downing, a 272 hitter who went 0 for 4 yesterday with 2 strikeouts. 0-1 today. Yale comes set out of the stretch, delivers, low and in, blocked by Gavin Kelly, throws off the mask violently on the block. But Vecchini will stay at first base, not try and move up. Doesn't want to test Gavin Kelly's arm. Two 2-0 the count on Downing. Here's Yale with the delivery. Fly ball to center field. Schoenfeld calling for it, now drifting over into left center to where Groveland could have made the catch. Man, yeah. My goodness, from where Schoenfeld was playing came all the way over there in left field. But that'll make it the second out of the inning for Cal Poly. Brings back up Nate Castillon, who did reach on an error and scored Cal Poly's lone run of today, but also flew out to center field in the bottom of the third. First pitch he sees upstairs, Maxiel's 75th pitch of the game, through 4 2/3 innings. Comes set, delivers. Contact that made by Castillon over the shortstop Einish into left field. Groveland comes up for it. Station to station go the Mustangs. Vecchini up to second. Now Castillon on first base. 2 runners for Cal Poly to play with, though, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth is Garza. Garza, who's 0 for 2 today, flew out to center field and a line drive or a pop up to the second baseman, Brody Kresser. Let's see what he does against Einish or against Yale, who comes set. delivers, breaking ball, chop to the shortstop Einish, throws it over to first for the easy out. Down go the Mustangs. That was their chance to add on. They don't convert. Down go the Mustangs. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. In the bottom of the 5th, we'll go to the 6th. Maxiell now completing his 5th inning pitched. Just 77 pitches. We'll see if that's it or for Maxiell or if he gets another inning with West Virginia in a very convincing 14-1 lead. And I'm getting some rain here at my house. Glad I covered my Blackstone before I came up here and did this. How you feeling, Mountaineer Nation? Love to have you drop a comment in if you want to connect with me here during this game. Please hit that thumbs up button so more fans will see this video across YouTube. Really helps out the algorithm with a like. And would love to have you as a subscriber to my channel, Fox on West Virginia Mountaineer Sports, where I'm talking Mountaineer football, basketball, baseball all year round. And tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog that I do this each and every week and have a lot of fun doing it. And thanks for tuning in to just my 4th ever live stream broadcast here on my YouTube channel that I started back in August of 2023. Second time doing a baseball game, and this has been a whole lot of fun following this Mountaineer team through its postseason. Looking to get to the College Baseball World Series for the first time in program history is on the ESPN broadcast. They're showing the construction and development of what is now Kendrick Family Ballpark, which was at first Monongalia County Ballpark. Completion done in 2015. And that's really right about when I started to follow this West Virginia baseball program, about 11 years ago. Here's Brody Kresser leading it off for the Mountaineers in the top of the 6th inning. First pitch he sees a strike, a breaking ball, about letter high, right down the middle. Caden Petty throws it as hard as he possibly can up near the face of Brody Kresser. He recoils and stays away from it. Brody's been awesome today. Brody's reached base 3 times with 2 singles and a walk and scored 3 times. High and in goes a ball on Kresser. 2-1 the count here in the top of the 6th with West Virginia leading convincingly 14-1. Action in the Cal Poly bullpen. Petty throws a ball outside on a breaking ball. His now 27th pitch. He relieved Chris Downs, who went 2 innings, and Turnquist, who went an inning. He's gone an inning and a third. Giving up 2 runs on 2 hits with a walk. But a walk given up there to Brody Kresser. 4th time now that Brody's reached base for the Mountaineers. Ooh. Killing it. Love it. Here's Ben Lumsden. 2 home runs on the day, a 2-run shot in the 4th, and a 3-run shot in the 2nd. Lumsden's hot, baby. With a man on base, nobody out here in the 6th. First pitch he sees high and away. Don't want to leave anything out over the plate for Lumsden with the way he's swinging a hot bat and the wind carrying out at Kendrick Family Ballpark. Coming set is Petty. The pitch, low and bouncer in front of home plate. Kresser takes off to second base. The throw down to second, scooped up by the second baseman Downing. Poor throw by Taman gives enough time for Kresser to retreat back to first base, and he gets in safely. Ooh, there was an opportunity for Cal Poly to get an easy out. Taman kind of backhanded the ball off the turf, caught Kresser kind of in no man's land. Kresser takes off to second base, but the poor throw was so poor and hit through the infield by Lumsden. And look, Kresser made an aggressive move toward third base. He'll just move up 90 feet to second, but Lumsden has his third at bat. Unfortunately, or third hit of the game. Fortunately, not another home run, but hey, he'll take it. Up that average even higher. Give West Virginia more base runners. Now 2 men on, nobody out for Tyrus Hall, who's also has 2 hits today. Solo shot in the second, following up Lumsden's 3-run home run. Here's the pitch. Oh, breaking ball. And I know if Tyrus kind of would love to crush that. 80 miles per hour right on the outer half. Oh, beautiful pitch. And then also had a single with a stolen base in the fourth. Petty's delivery off the plate outside, 1-1. Ben Lumsden coming on this postseason for the old gold and blue, starting in the 8 hole in right field for over Brock Wells. The delivery by Petty out of the stretch flips a curveball in there for a strike at the knees. 1-2 against Tyrus Hall. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th of game 2 of the Morgantown Super Regional. Petty's delivery. Upstairs, close pitch. Oh, man, Tyrus Hall took a close pitch. High and away for a ball. Just off the plate by millimeters. I think Petty wanted that call. Comes set out of the stretch. The delivery. Hall makes contact down the right field line toward the warning track. Just drifts foul. Looked like similar contact in a similar position as the home run he hit. Probably needed at least another 20 feet, maybe 30. And needed to just stay in bounds down the right field line. We'll reset with Kresser on second, Lumsden at first. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. And everybody in Morgantown is coming to talk to Malik Agbo and Kevin Brown. Crazy. Here's the pitch to Hall. Chopper back to the pitcher, Petty, throws to the shortstop, Castillon, over to the first baseman, Spearden off, but Tyrus Hall beats it out. Just too slow developing of a play on that chopper. Hall get to first. Kresser will move to third. Lumsden cut down at second base on the fielder's choice. And Larry Lee will come out and talk to his relief pitcher. And he's going to go to the bullpen. We'll get to know who the new guy in for Cal Poly is in just a second. Junior left-hander Josh Volberding. Petty goes 1 2/3. He'll be responsible for Kresser at third, Hall at first, with 1 out here in the 6th. Wolberding's first action of the Super Regionals. Cal Poly threw Griffin Ness, Brady Estes, Troy Cooper, Josh Morano, Arlo Pendleton, and Sean McGrath yesterday. Today they've thrown Carson Turnquist, Chris Downs, Caden Petting, Corden Petty, and Josh Volberding now. And it's just going to elongate, I feel like, is the inevitable. Let's check out the comment section here. Do you think West Virginia will make the champ? Do you think will make, I'm assuming you're saying Scrooge McDuck. Yes, you're asking about West Virginia making the championship game. And thanks, Robert, for your comment. West Virginia is doing great today. Let's go Ears. The championship game of the College World Series. I mean, your guess is as good as mine there. The way they're playing right now, I don't think many teams can beat them. But baseball is a fickle sport and anything can happen. But West Virginia playing its best baseball down the stretch here, really for about the last month, since West Virginia swept Kansas on the road at Hogland Ballpark in Lawrence, beat Kansas, ended up winning 2 of 3 to end the regular season against TCU, though finishing second in the Big 12 regular season standings, though going to the Big 12 tournament, getting to the championship game, unfortunately falling short because of leaving too many men on base against Kansas to lose that one in the championship game. But then taking care of business in the regional level, although it was a hard fought series against predominantly the Kentucky Wildcats, and now making easy work of Cal Poly through a game and a half. Josh Wolmerding, a junior from Santa Rosa, California, has only pitched 26 innings all season, given up 30 hits, 28 strikeouts to 8 walks, a near 7 ERA. Here's Armani Guzman getting another stab at this Cal Poly deep pitching staff. He steps up with 1 out. Mid-90s fastball up at the letters, called a ball above the zone. Guzman grounded out in his last at bat, but scored 2 runs and reached base twice. The delivery by the lefty Wolmerding on the outside corner, 1-1. Guzman okay with the call, but I think that one was just a little bit off the plate. Tough pitch to hit. Would have had to taken it that way. The delivery by Wolmerding, way outside in the right-hander's batter's box. Big, tall lefty, 6'4", 210 pounds is Wolmerding. Corners are up for the Cal Poly defense. The delivery, Guzman lays off, but called a strike up at the letters on the outer half of the plate. 2-2. Guzman will have to lock in, protect the plate here with 2 strikes. The delivery, chopper through the left side of the infield, and he'll get an RBI. Armani Guzman with a base knock. Love that for him. He'll score Cresser from third, and that'll be charged against Petty for the 15th run of the ball game. Hall move up to second base. Yeah, run will be charged against Petty. Wolmerding gives up the hit allowed. It's still just 1 out, 2 men on in the top of the 6th for now Gavin Kelly, West Virginia's most lethal hitter. Fouled off down the right field line. Swung hard on that pitch was Gavin Kelly, who had a solo shot in the 5th, had a double in the 3rd, walked and scored a run in the 2nd, and singled in the 1st. Kelly's reached base 4 times today, as now they're doing the wave at Kendrick Family Ballpark. Here's the pitch inside. That's what you do, man. When you're up 15-1 in the Super Regional and everybody in the whole freaking state is there, either in the park or on Randy's Ridge, you do the wave. And it looks good on TV. It does. Oh, Cal Poly's not waving, but oh, this is great, man. 1-1 the count to Kelly inside for a ball on a slow breaker. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Kelly taps the plate. Locked in on Wolmerding. The delivery from the tall lefty. Outside. Working the count. Thankfully, the weather that I'm getting here in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, doesn't look like it's affecting Morgantown, West Virginia. Though we're just about an hour north of Morgantown. 3-1, delivery by Wolmerding, swung on by Kelly, fouls it off onto Randy's Ridge. North Carolina and USC have started down in Chapel Hill. North Carolina needs to win that ball game, or it'll be USC moving on to the College World Series. 3-2 count, 10 pitches now by Wolmerding. Delivery to Kelly, low and at his ankles. That'll give Kelly a walk, and he'll reach base for the 5th time today. The hardest man to get out of the West Virginia offense. Guzman will move to second. Hall moved to third. West Virginia leads 15-1 with Paul Schoenfeld stepping up to the plate. Schoenfeld had a double to left field in the 5th, stole third base, and scored West Virginia's 14th run. Here's Schoenfeld. Fastball, high and outside for a strike. 1 out in the top of the 6th. Schoenfeld, 2 for 4 today. Slow breaking ball outside for a ball. Evens the count at 1. Schoenfeld also had a single and a sac bunt, struck out looking in the 1st. The pitch rolls over, weakly hit ground ball, stay fair, right at first base. He'll get an RBI, but Schoenfeld goes down on the unassisted ground out to the first baseman, Spiridonov. Hall score West Virginia's 16th run of the game. I think that closes the book on Corden Petty. 4 runs allowed to Petty. Guzman moves up to third. Gavin Kelly to second. Now Sean Smith will trot up to the plate for his 5th at bat. The pitch low on a curveball, down in the ankles. Kelly with a practice swing. Struck out twice, walked the last time he was up, and had an RBI single in the 2nd. 2 runners in scoring position. Fastball off the plate outside. West Virginia now up 16-1. Highest scoring affair West Virginia's had all season. Love this. The pitch swung on hard. Can think like, man, what another offensive game. West Virginia won that game on Saturday of the Central Florida series back in early April. We're down 10-2 in that game, came back to win it 11-10. I'd have to look, actually, as I say this, is either Liberty or Kennesaw State if West Virginia scored as much. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. Looked a little bit inside to me on Sean Smith. Sorry there if my lights are flickering. We're getting some heavy weather here in Canonsburg. Hard rainfall here. Here's the pitch. 2-2 count on Smith, and he called third strike on the outside corner. That's Smith's 3rd K of the ball game. Sends down West Virginia, but scoring another 2 runs is the Mountaineers. They get 2 on 2 hits. No errors, 2 men left aboard. We'll go to now the bottom of the 6th inning with West Virginia leading 16-1. Oh boy. So yeah, if anybody out in the chat is watching here live that can look up on West Virginia's baseball schedule. Well, you know what? I'll do it here while we got a second. Has West Virginia scored 16 runs or more this season? Let me look it up here real quick. I don't think so. I think this is the highest scoring output by West Virginia on the season. Scored, yes, now 15-3 against Georgia Southern, a win on opening day back in mid-February. West Virginia scored 12 against Liberty in game 1 of that series. I'm sorry. Okay, I got this wrong. My bad. Ohio. West Virginia beat Ohio 19-6 back on February 25th. Scored 16 runs against Columbia back on March 8th. But once we got into conference play, West Virginia did not score 16 runs. So it's the second highest offensive output by West Virginia on the season, behind when they scored 19 against Ohio back in March. All right, well, now we know. Gotta love it. Ben Lumsden, the hero, with 2 home runs today. Gavin Kelly with a home run. Tyrus Hall with a home run. You get a home run. Armani Guzman with his first home run of the season. Freaking love it. Creed Erdos coming in behind the plate, showing him defensive substitution for Gavin Kelly. Hall's back still at third. And now David Hagan will come in for Max Yell. I'll shut the book on Yell. 5 innings for Yell, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, a walk, a hit batsman, only gave up 1 run. David Hagan, we know, pitched in game 1 of the Binghamton game in the regional round, relieving Chanson Cole, and then also pitched in last Sunday's contest against Wake Forest. It was either Wake Forest or Kentucky. But he was awesome. Guy who, kind of is like West Virginia's 4th, 5th starter, midweek guy for most of the season. He deserves getting this opportunity here. Pitch he throws out to left center field off the wall. Schoenfeld able to get it to it quickly, but Dylan Korzik with a double. Yeah, Hagan, the midweek starter for West Virginia, a sophomore. West Virginia has had Chanson Cole, Max Yell, Dawson Montesa, and Ian Korn holding down the starting rotation for most of the season, with Hagan being that 5th guy who got the midweek opportunities. Whoa, some adjustments on the ESPN broadcast. So got real bright and then real dark. I think they were adjusting their aperture. Anyway, here's Ryan Taman, who hit a sac fly in the 1st and then walked in the 4th, his 3rd at bat for Cal Poly. Armani Guzman moves over to right field. Here's Hagan's delivery against Taman on a 1-1 count. Low below the shins. With a man on second, West Virginia holding a 15-run lead. He comes set, checks the runner at second, delivers. Taman swings through the fastball inside. Good pitch there by David Hagan. Gets the all-conference Taman at catcher to swing through it 2-2. 13-12, Georgia, Mississippi State in the 9th now. Swung on by Taman to the shortstop, Einish. Looks back the runner. Gets Brody Kresser over at first base. Taman's down for the first out of the inning for Cal Poly. 6-3 goes Taman. Kordich has to retreat back to second base. That'll bring up Cam Hoyland, the designated hitter, who was hit by a pitch when he leaned into one on Max Yell in the 1st and then struck out swinging. It's looking a little dark and windier at Kendrick Family Ballpark now. 1 out. I wonder if some of this weather that's affecting me up here is coming down that way. Anyway, breaking ball down in the turf. Hagen, the right-handed pitcher, in relief of Maxiell. Checks him outside for a ball, 2-0. Yeah, Georgia's leading Mississippi State in the ninth. North Carolina takes an early 1-0 lead on USC in the top of the third. Pitch by Hagen, swung on by Hoyland. He fouls it off down the right field line, 91 miles per hour. That's the thing about Hagen. He's got some velocity. I know there are other West Virginia starters who do so as well, but he doesn't have an arm that you should shy away from. Here we go. Here's the delivery. Hot upstairs, outside. Lady here in the ESPN broadcast really wanted that pitch. 3-1 now goes the count as Hagen's thrown 10 pitches. With the delivery, Hoyland swings through the fastball outside, misses it. With Kordich at second base, West Virginia leading 16-1 here in the bottom of the sixth. The delivery, upstairs, check swing. Hoyland called down on strikes. He swung through the zone. Hagen's first K. A forwards K. Good for him. West Virginia gets the call. Cal Poly down to 2 outs. And they're showing on the ESPN broadcast now this weather pattern. It's coming through me. And I'm getting, and it looks like it could be in Mountaineer land here in about 30 minutes. Rolling over to the third baseman, Tyrus Hall, for the ground out. Casey Murray goes down for the out. 5-3. Hagen gets out of the inning. 1 full in relief for Maxiell. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left aboard for Cal Poly. West Virginia back up for the top of the 7th. And in the 7th, it'll be Groveland, Einish, and Kresser if there aren't any substitutions for the old gold and blue. Yeah, it's pretty loud, y'all. Getting a lot of thunder and lightning here. So I wonder if the weather's coming down through Morgantown. Well, we're now 2:42 here in the afternoon. West Virginia, one of 2 teams with just North Carolina to make the Super Regionals for the last 3 years in a row in college baseball. It would be the first time that West Virginia has ever made the College Baseball World Series for a program that since the year 2020 was just outside the top 10, I think 12th in wins since 2020. They were 12th among regional hosts with 228. Southern Miss, who's been eliminated, at 279. Texas at 273. Florida, who's been eliminated at 264. North Carolina, 4th at 257. And Texas A&M, who's been eliminated at 248. So it just goes to show, in rare company, West Virginia finds themselves as a baseball program on the come up. Oh, the rain's approaching Morgantown. Oh, as they're showing it on the ESPN broadcast. Hopefully West Virginia can get through this game. I don't know and I think West Virginia would have to unfortunately finish this game despite being up 15 runs. So we might get a weather delay, but we'll see what happens here. Here's Matthew Groveland against Walmerding, who went 2/3 of an inning there in the 6th inning, gets another inning. Swung on sharply, fouled back to the netting is Groveland, who on the day has a double and scored a run, another RBI, but grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the 5th and 2 other groundouts. His 5th at bat. And high and inside pitch, but called a strike on the breaking ball. Groveland stays into the contest. I'm sure. Oh no, wait, no, it was Kelly who was doing the catching. Yeah. They showed David Perez there with his brace in the West Virginia dugout. I'd love to see him pitch in this postseason, but unfortunately not the case. Swung on sharply on the line drive. Groveland gets another hit. Good for him. Leading off the inning with a single for the West Virginia offense. It's now up to, pretty sure, might have miscalculations here, 14 hits on the contest. Groveland at first. That'll bring up Matt Einish, the shortstop, with no outs. Here in the top of the seventh, West Virginia up 16-1. Einish is 0 for 4 today. Did walk with a stolen base in the second. Otherwise, a ground out, a line out, and a pop out. The pitch to Einish, looks at the ball upstairs for a ball. One of those pitches well out of the zone Matt Einish will never swing at. Very selective is Matt Einish. 2-0 the count. Not 0 for 4, 0 for 3, sorry. The pitch to Einish makes contact. Slicer. Oh, man. A pop-up just over the head of the pitcher, Walmerding. Coming in was the shortstop, Castillon. There was so much spin on the pitch that Castillon couldn't glove it. And when he couldn't glove it, overran the ball. Walmerding just looking at it. So Groveland takes off for third. So an infield single goes Matt Einish. Another hit for this Mountaineer offense. And that gives West Virginia runners on the corners with nobody out for Brody Kresser, who's reached base 4 times today. Inside fastball goes a strike. Nobody out in the top of the seventh. Einish at first, Groveland at third. Kresser hit walked in the second, 2 singles in the third and fourth, and walked again in the sixth, and has scored 4 runs. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who you get the offensive MVP award for today. Is it Ben Lumsden with his home runs? Is it Gavin Kelly with being 5 for 5, getting on base? Is it Brody Kresser scoring 4 runs, getting on base 4 times? I mean, gosh, golly. High and outside, Walmerding 1-2 on Kresser, with the old gold and blue leading decisively. How many Randy's Ridge takes cover here during the weather? That is the question I'm asking. The pitch, fouled back to the netting. Count stays 1-2 on Kresser. Malik Agbo, Kevin Brown staying put in their seats behind home plate. The shift is on Kresser, moving the second baseman Downing behind second base. The pitch, low and in the dirt, blocked. Taman stays in, and he's blocking it. 2-2 the count. Coming set is Walmerding, who's now up to 30 pitches for today. Kresser swings through it, and he's down on strikes with a strikeout swinging. That's all right, Brody. Get him next time, man. You've been awesome today. That'll bring up Ben Lumsden, who's just as hot, with a 3-run homer and a 2-run homer and a single in the 6th. Unless head coach Steve Sabins decides to pinch hit him, maybe bring in Brock Wills for the opportunity here. Give him an at-bat. Nope, he'll stay with Lumsden. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Lumsden swings through the slow breaking ball inside for the first strike. Yeah, just wondered. Just wondered if Coach Sabins would go to Brock Wills and give him an opportunity over Lumsden here, but ride the hot hand. Low and in the turf. 1-1. Yeah, some other super regional play. Oklahoma and Kansas today, St. John's in Alabama, Texas and Oregon, and Mississippi State, Georgia has already been going on since before noon today. Breaking ball, Lumsden swings right through it, 81 miles per hour on the inner half. And then on the left side of the bracket, of course, West Virginia, Cal Poly, Troy, Little Rock, North Carolina against USC, and Ole Miss, Auburn. All in action today. 1-2 the count on Lumsden. Checks his swing, throwing down to second base, and West Virginia comes through with another double steal. No lead is safe enough, I guess, for head coach Steve Sabins. Groveland takes the steal and scores West Virginia's 17th run. Einish swings through the pitch down to second base. And I'm pretty sure Lumsden goes down for the strikeout as we get the replay showing Groveland scoring. Yes, Lumsden was down on the strikeout swinging. So another strikeout for Walmerding, but he gives up his first run as Tyrus Hall looks at a breaking ball on the inner half for strike one of his at-bat. 2 outs now. West Virginia leads 17-1 in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. The pitch down in the turf. Checking his swing was Tyrus Hall there. 38 pitches now by Walmerding. Sorry for the light flicker there, everybody. Einish on second base off that double steal that Groveland just scored on. The pitch. Hall looks at the pitch below his knees. The second most runs West Virginia has scored in a contest this season, behind when West Virginia scored 19 against Ohio back in March. The 40th pitch by Walmerding, low and inside on a breaking ball, just 82 miles per hour. Hall's now worked a 3-1 count. And the pitch swung on, fouls it back on Randy's Ridge. Works the count full. And it goes final between Georgia and Mississippi State. 13-12. Bulldogs beat Bulldogs. And Georgia's now into the College World Series. The pitch. And that's fouled off by Hall. Stays full. That will be a tough team to beat, Georgia. Let me put it that way. Nation's home run leader. Better than Kentucky. Hope somebody can knock them off the way before West Virginia could eventually meet up with them in a national championship round, but we'll see. Here's Hall, low and inside. He'll take it for a walk. That was a close pitch, went Hall's way. He'll trot down to first base. Hall's now has reached base 4 times today. Einish will stay at second with 2 outs for Armani Guzman, who's now getting his 6th at-bat of the contest. Guzman hit a 2-run home run, his first home run of the season in the 3rd. He scored 2 runs, has 3 RBIs. Swinging through the first pitch fastball at 93 miles per hour at the letters is Guzman. Men on first and second with 2 outs. His mom's in the crowd. Yay. All right. Love that. So happy for her. So happy for Armani for what he did in that regional round and continues to do today. The pitch by the lefty Walmerding gets Guzman to foul it off quickly in the hole 0-2. Oh, man, just what a pro. What a pro Armani Guzman, man. I'm so thankful he's a Mountaineer. So fun, so easy to cheer for. Just works hard. Love the game that he plays. Here's Walmerding coming set, delivers way high and outside for a ball. The junior from Bronx, New York. In a 1-2 count with his team up 17-1, fouls it off, staying alive. Does West Virginia stay with David Hagan next inning? We'll see. Wanting to get this game over with as soon as possible to hopefully not be affected by weather. The pitch fouled off again by Guzman. And the skies over Kendrick Family Ballpark are getting dark. Overcast now, not as sunny as it was at noon. Another foul ball by Armani Guzman. 95 on the gun by Walmerding. This next pitch will be his 50th pitch of the day. Looking to finish his first full complete inning of relief. Did go 2/3 the inning last inning. Up in the air by Guzman to the center fielder, Murray Jr. He catches it for the third out of the inning, and down go the old gold and blue. But West Virginia does get one run on 2 hits, no errors, did leave 2 men aboard, but that's okay. Up 17-1 here going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Whew. All right, Mountaineer Nation, 9 more outs needed. 9 more outs needed, 16 run lead. Is this where we as Mountaineer Nation can finally exhale, breathe a little bit and think to ourselves, though, hey, man, we got this in the bag. Just play good defense, settle it down. I've seen nothing so far by this Cal Poly offense that makes me think that West Virginia should be worried whatsoever. I cannot believe how I know that, like, coming into this series, that West Virginia was, I think, the second highest favored team to advance to the College World Series based upon the regional matchup. West Virginia had the second easiest, by I think FanDuel standards, easiest matchup of any team out of the Super Regional matchups. But man, I'm just not impressed at all by this Cal Poly team. And what I mean, but I'm as unimpressed as I am about Cal Poly. I'm as impressed by the West Virginia offense. Score 12 runs in game 1, 17. Oh, severe weather. West Virginia is going to go into a break. Well, you know what, Mountaineer Nation? Since there's this break in the wait a second. Hold on. They're staying with it. They're staying with the game. I'll stay with you on this live stream play-by-play commentary for as long as they're continuing to play. If we do have to go into an elongated break, which I don't know how, unless there's lightning, West Virginia's got turf. West Virginia's turned to a new, or Cal Poly, Anthony Castro is coming in for Gavin Spiridanoff. To play first base, and he'll pinch hit. .217 batting average on the season. David Hagan quickly gets him to go 0-2 on a fastball curveball sequence. 15 pitches thrown now by David Hagan, who's now already an inning into relief of Max Yell. Curveball upstairs to Castro, hits it out to the right fielder, Guzman, who travels all the way into right center field, deepest part of the ballpark in right center field, but it's able to come up with the catch. First out of the inning for Cal Poly. West Virginia leads 17-1 in the bottom of the seventh with one out. Hagan now will face another pinch hitter. Crap, I don't have my my roster. Flips it in there for a curveball. Gonna have to rely on the ESPN broadcast to tell me who West Virginia's facing is. Wait a second. West Virginia and Cal Poly. Oh my gosh, mid at bat, ESPN switched. Are you kidding me? ESPN just switched mid at bat from West Virginia Cal Poly to Troy and Arkansas Little Rock. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. I got to refresh, y'all. I got to refresh my ESPN on my TV here. I cannot freaking believe that. Did that happen to anyone else? Let me know in the comments here. I'm trying on my ESPN app. I don't have cable, but I'm trying to find West Virginia was moved to ESPNU. I'm going on the ESPN app on my TV to the Cal Poly West Virginia broadcast, and I can't get back to it. Thanks, Blake. Thanks for letting me know. ESPNU. I just unfortunately, I was watching. I have Roku TV, so I'm on the ESPN app on my TV, and it left. I cannot believe that. I can absolutely not believe that ESPN left that game. I guess I have to find what's ever on ESPNU to get to it. Unreal. All right, now I'm in a what they're saying is a commercial break. Let me see. I'll try and get it on my ESPN app on my phone while I'm waiting on this with my television. Man, is that something you don't see every day? Of ESPN just leaving the broadcast mid at bat. Yeah, I'm getting a commercial break even on my phone of finding it. I'm so sorry, Mountaineer Nation. Thanks for tuning in, though, to this live play-by-play commentary of West Virginia's Super Regional round between West Virginia and Cal Poly, in which West Virginia was just 7 outs away, eight outs away from advancing to the College Baseball World Series, up 17-1 on Cal Poly. David Hagan was dealing in relief for Max Yell. Looks like there's a changeover in the broadcast. Okay, now we got the game back. I wonder if they paused. They probably didn't pause the game. I'm seeing I'm getting some viewers all tuning into this, so I'm wondering if the same thing kind of happened for you, and then you switched over to YouTube to listen to me. So thanks for tuning into this, everybody. We go to the top of the 8th. I have no idea what just happened with Cal Poly's offense, but we're getting Nick Bond, who's Cal Poly's all-conference reliever who hasn't really had an opportunity to come in and pitch because his team just can't get him a lead and get him into a save situation. But the nation's leading closer in saves with 17 on the season, Gavin Kelly, going to step up to the plate. I have no idea what just happened there with ESPN leaving mid at bat, leaving the broadcast mid at bat to go to Troy and Arkansas Little Rock, booting West Virginia over to ESPNU, but disrupting the broadcast if you were watching it on any streaming platform like I was here on my Roku TV. Anyway, brings up Gavin Kelly here in the top of the 8th. Gavin Kelly has been absolutely magnificent, as we know he has the potential to do every time he takes the field for every game. Reached base 5 times today. Here's Bond's 0-1 delivery. Fastball outside. Kelly singled in the first, walked, scored a run in the second, a double and scored a run in the third, hit a whole solo shot in the 5th. In the 6th, he walked and made it to second base. Gavin Kelly, tremendous player. Golden Spikes finalist, got Golden Spikes Award finalist, going to the most outstanding player in Division I baseball. The Heisman Trophy of college baseball, if you want to put it that way. That and the Dick Hauser Trophy. Pitch on the outside corner, goes Cal Poly's way. Bond pumping it in there in the upper 90s. That one reached 97 miles per hour. Kelly's now working a 2-2 count. Regular defense, but kind of second baseman Jacob Downing shading over towards second base. Out of the windup goes Bond with the delivery. Hardly hit by Gavin Kelly, but right to the second, the shortstop Castellone. Over to first is Castro coming up with the catch. And that'll put Gavin Kelly out for the first time today on a 6-3 ground out. Bond getting West Virginia's first team all Big 12 conference selection. Oh, absolutely, Drumwolf. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, you're right. West Virginia, man, just like, ESPN's like, they got this. We'll leave them alone. Just we'll go to the other game that's just starting. Here's Paul Schoenfeld, 2 for 4 today with 2 RBIs. Had a double and scored a run in the 5th. That was his best offensive output today. 98 miles per hour outside on the fastball, Bond to Schoenfeld. This kid's electric. He's got a gun. I give it to him, but not a starter. Out of the windup, the pitch. Schoenfeld fouls it off back behind the plate as we see a lot of movement around Kendrick Family Ballpark. I'm wondering if some weather's just about or starting to come through. Moving people to the rotunda. 1-2 on Schoenfeld. The pitch by Bond. Curveball yanked into the outfield, but right at the right fielder, Kordich. Schoenfeld down for the out. 2 outs now for Bond in relief in the top of the 8th. And the umpires are going to pull everybody off the field. Oh, man. 2 runs in the top of the 8th. West Virginia leads 17-1 as the old gold and blue faithful. I know. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, y'all. The weather that has been affecting me now for the better part of an hour here in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, rolling through in Morgantown. I see that we have 103 viewers now tuning into this broadcast. I really appreciate you. Who do you want to play against, Troy or Little Rock? I'll answer that. Drumwolf. Well, Troy coming off with the big win to start off the Super Regional series. There, you have to think I want to see a Little Rock come back. But I don't know. The way West Virginia is playing right now, I think they could beat anyone in the nation with this kind of offensive output, with the way that they're pitching. I mean, especially with Dawson Montesa just coming alive in that regional series with his performance against Wake, and then coming in on no days rest to pitch again against Kentucky, just looked absolutely like a laser arm, rubber arm. He could go all day long. So I would take West Virginia just about against anybody. I would, of course, like it to be against a team that doesn't have the kind of raw power like, say, a Georgia does and Auburn does, or like we saw Kentucky, because I think that's what makes these games so tough for West Virginia, because they pitch so well, they play defense so well, they manufacture runs. Now today we're seeing home runs hit out of the ballpark. So I don't care who West Virginia plays. I would, at this point in time, I would like to see, West Virginia go on one. I mean, they've now proven themselves being able to beat Wake, being able to beat Kentucky. Cal Poly hasn't really proven to be much competition on this day. So if West Virginia can get through what, would maybe say on paper, warm up contest between either Troy or Little Rock, to then maybe take on, we'll have to see who else comes out of those super regionals between USC and UNC, and then Ole Miss and Auburn. But let's take our best shot, man. So who is better fit next? How far do you think WVU is actually getting? That's what I mean. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's impossible to predict as of right now. Thanks, John Waffle. Love seeing. I thought, like, where are you on Twitter? Haven't seen you, John Waffle, on Twitter in like 20 years, man. Where you been? No, I think West Virginia can go as far as its pitching can take them. Right now, I love seeing this kind of bounce back effort. To think that Kentucky game last week, the effort by Maxiell was kind of a fluke, just kind of a weird situation. Even Paul Skeens gets roughed up every once in a while. So to see Paul Skeens, or to see Maxiell bounce back Monday against Kentucky, bounce back here. Still think West Virginia would be smart to keep kind of a watch on his innings limit, his pitch counts, and Saban's has done a really good job, I feel like, on managing him. And West Virginia has enough bullpen depth to go to a team player like Ian Korn in relief. If now you can trust in Dawson Montesa, David Hagan proving it, Ben McDougal, West Virginia goes really deep into its bullpen now with Chance and Cole and Maxiell at the top of the rotation. So I love what they're doing from an pitching standpoint. Defense, was just a kind of, I think, a fluke yips play to start off this game by Matt Einish, but have looked better cleaning it up. The thing is, West Virginia's got to now go away from home. West Virginia had a home series to end the regular season against TCU, then went out to the Big 12 tournament out in Surprise, Arizona, played 3 games, but then it's been home now for the regionals and super regionals. So they got to hit the road. They got to lock it in out in the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, where they've never been before. But this is fun. This is making program history. This is now, if West Virginia can finish this game off, a season record for wins in a single season. Yeah, West Virginia did play well in Kansas. You're right, Chris. That was an awesome series, taking it on the road. Everybody really locked in for that. I think Kansas, I don't even think it was necessarily Kansas was complacent. I think that just West Virginia just took it to them so fast, so hard that they weren't expecting that kind of battle. Now, of course, Kansas got West Virginia kind of back in the revenge match of the Big 12 championship game. But that was an awesome series. Let me look at some of the other comments. If you have any thoughts, feelings about this game, about this Mountaineer team, how it's going to go throughout the rest of the postseason, I'd love to know this. Is this the beginning of the surge for West Virginia sports? I said this on Mountaineer Paul's Locked On West Virginia Sports program a couple of days ago, that I think that this could be. That the way West Virginia recruited in football this past offseason, top 20 high school recruiting class, top 20 transfer class, what they're doing for next season with a very favorable schedule, with 7 home games and then a neutral site game that's really a home contest down in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the basketball team bringing in its highest rated recruit in program history and Miles Sadler, what they were able to do in the transfer portal with bringing in Mo Silla. Um, my goodness, I just think that baseball's been leading the charge for the last 2 seasons. If you're a Mountaineer sports fan who's just been now getting into West Virginia baseball, West Virginia has been on the up and up for the last couple of seasons, getting to the super regional levels the last 2 years, and could have maybe even gone further last year if Max Yale wouldn't have had Tommy John surgery before the season. So they've just recruited well, they've developed well. um, let's see, Hillbilly Banger, I think it is as well, but I do think Rich Rod's offensive scheme is outdated. Great recruitment though, but that's the thing. I've had that concern since that he was rehired. That is his offense, which was revolutionary back in the early 2000s. Now everybody runs it. But I mean, hey, they looked good against Houston, looked good against Pitt. I don't think we really got to see what this offense was capable last season because of the injury situation. Quarterback, running back, the offensive line was just patchwork all season long. Put so much pressure on the defense that then once the offense was ready, like, hey, we're starting to figure some things out, the defense kind of burnt out. But fought to Arizona State tooth and nail to the very last end. That was a game that I was at, and then unfortunately had a laugher in the regular season finale against Texas Tech. That was a team that was just way over talented compared to West Virginia. So that's what I think. My issue is him having gadget guys stuck in set routes, not letting them get loose. Oh, what a game, Andrew. Yeah, we'll stick with baseball, I guess. But I mean, I appreciate this. I appreciate the comments. I thank you all for tuning into this live stream now here while we have a break in the action. Been a lot of fun watching this game, even though we had that kind of the channel switch over from ESPN2 to ESPNU. It's been fun to follow this one. When will the next game be, Megan? So if West Virginia wins, it will now punch its ticket to the College Baseball World Series. The West Virginia will face the winner of the Super Regional round of Little Rock and Troy in the College Baseball World Series, and then same with Southern California, or USC, UNC are playing in the Super Regional, and Ole Miss and Auburn. So the College World Series bracket play will start June 12th. So that's next Friday. West Virginia could have its first game, depending upon how the I think they determine games and game times after the Super Regional rounds. But next Friday it'll start. Oh crap, that goes for 10 days. Lock in, y'all. Get ready. So then the way that'll work is that'll be a double elimination for it's basically like a 4-team tournament like the regional will, or the regional was. Whoever comes out of that side of the bracket, out of those 4 teams in a double elimination, goes to the championship round, which is a best 2 out of 3 series. Oh, my, the drama. Like, if you thought, get ready, y'all. If y'all thought the regional round was something to watch for, if West Virginia could get to the championship game of the College World Series in a 2-3 winner take all for a national championship series, that this is quite the gauntlet that you have to go through. And the right side of the bracket does at this point in time have a little more firepower than the left side of the bracket. Really curious to see what happens between Oklahoma and Kansas in their regional. Feel pretty confident in Alabama taking out St. John's, but then Oregon and Texas will be a tough one. Mississippi State just lost in its super regional round to Georgia. Georgia took the straight, so punched their ticket to Omaha. Let's see some of the other. Love the fan cave, Fox. Thank you. Really put a lot of effort into it since we moved here. Did I see Kevin Brown? Yes, looking like a Chad out there with Malik Agbo behind home plate. They were having a good time. The delay started at 3:07 p.m. So yeah, you were now 12 minutes into it. I'm not into college baseball, but I'm a longtime West Virginia fan. What are our odds to win out? All you think to get all the way to the national championship game? Like I've given you now the route that West Virginia has to go through one of two mid majors, either between Arkansas, Little Rock, and Troy. If West Virginia gets to either of those two, I'm presuming West Virginia wins this game against Cal Poly, but then it'll have to take on either North Carolina, who we saw how hard they were to beat a couple of seasons ago, USC, who's already up in that super regional, one game to none, an old Miss or Auburn, so another SEC team. And if it was so fun playing Kentucky, and Kentucky had only beaten one SEC opponent in a series, not a sweep, just a series all season long. That was Tennessee at home back during the regular season. So Kentucky was the easiest of the SEC opponents. So I'm curious to see how West Virginia would match up against a team like, say, an Auburn or an Ole Miss. But even in North Carolina, man, those guys are tough down there. So that's the route that it would take for West Virginia to get to a national championship game. Is game two already over? I can't seem to find any live coverage. I'm watching from the Philippines. Hey, well, thanks for tuning into this, Mike. Really appreciate you tuning in from the Philippines. But yes, West Virginia is in a weather delay right now. Got some weather up here just across the border in Pennsylvania about an hour and a half ago that seems like it was just kind of sweeping through, making its way down through Monongalia County now. So we've been in a weather delay for 13 minutes. With the fact that West Virginia has artificial turf, we might be able to come on soon. We'll see what happens. Yes, I've always said that Kevin Brown looks like a Greek god, looks like Hercules out there. I can't believe that, he's playing left tackle. He's at probably like less than 5% body fat at left tackle. So if that kid puts on a little more weight, oh my gosh, like the sky is just the limit for him. We're so good in a best of three. Let's hope the first week we get that 2-0 start. I completely agree, Chris. Wish we would have had that in the regional round. Of course, the first inning of the Kentucky game on Saturday kind of threw some things out of whack. With that one with Max Yell made it a little more interesting than you would have probably hoped for. But I think West Virginia, what I'll take as a consolation prize, West Virginia found some depth options. Dawson Montesa looked awesome. Ben McDougal looked awesome. So if West Virginia, out of those wars, found some extra soldiers to go fight them in the Super Regionals and then the College World Series rounds, I'll take it. I appreciate that, even despite losing the second game of that regional series. Williams says toughest competition we have seen. First round's likely Troy. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Andrew wants to see West Virginia get North Carolina, owe them one. I completely agree. For Derek Clark's case a couple of years ago, throwing like 143 pitches, warrior in the eighth inning. West Virginia does owe them in a rematch. Drum Wolf, West Virginia's record on the road. West Virginia did have a pretty good record, 20-6 now at home. Oh man, I have their conference record. I don't have their away record here on my scorecard, but yeah, West Virginia coming through. I think probably its toughest road series of the season was beating Kansas. It did so, swept them, and also Arizona State 2 of 3. So you'll take that. Did lose the home series against UCF, who was the fourth team in the Big 12. Took 1 of 3 from that series, but West Virginia has proved that it can do so on the road. Let's see. Kentucky picked it up in the past season. They weren't playing like that all year. Who's the starting quarterback? Sir Landonian. Who's the starting quarterback for this fall? I think we're going to see both. Yep, you heard it here first. I've been thinking about this. Been so locked into the baseball season that I haven't talked about football as much on my channel. Then remember, right before the end of the regular season for baseball, West Virginia basketball was thick into it with transfer portal recruiting. So yeah, I haven't felt like I've talked about football since the spring football festival in mid-April. I think West Virginia is going to play both. I think that's what we'll see out of the month of September, similarly to what we saw this past year, that maybe Scotty Fox is the incumbent who didn't do anything from the end of last season and through the spring to deserve to lose his job by any stretch of the imagination. But I think that um, Michael Hawkins fits the West Virginia Rich Rodriguez offensive system a little bit better. What I saw at the spring game shows me that I think I trust Scotty a little bit more throwing the ball, especially downfield, more so than I do out of Michael Hawkins. We didn't get to see Michael Hawkins run all that much either. So very curious to see, but right now I'm going to say both. I think both will play just like we saw to start out the year. And then winner whoever produces in games in September is going to be the one who gets to continue and gets the benefit of the doubt moving forward. 2 outs, top of the eighth, 17-1, but D1 baseball says game is delayed. Yeah, William, we've been in a delay now for 18 minutes. West Virginia kicking tail as my scoreboard shows here in the eighth. Storm will be gone in an hour. Storm warning until 3:45. I'm looking forward to seeing what Mike Hawkins can do. Love Scotty too. You have to wait till the nerves start flying. Absolutely. And, whenever you're going against guys not in your same jersey. So I think it'll be Coastal's replacing pretty much its whole team, new head coach. That first game should be a wash that West Virginia wins easily. East or Tennessee Martin, same way week 2. Then it's all going to come down to how West Virginia produces against Virginia in Charlotte in that neutral site contest. Similarly to like what happened when West Virginia took on Pitt in the backyard brawl last year. I know West Virginia lost week 2 to Ohio and should have absolutely never lost that game whatsoever, although the Jaheim White injury kind of derailed that one. So we'll see come week 3. Virginia game should give us an idea of what kind of season they will have. Exactly, Drumwolf. Do you think we'll be this good in football? I think it depends upon how West Virginia kind of starts off. If you just look on paper, if you're an optimist, you think that West Virginia can get to the level that it has the potential for, West Virginia could start off 8-0. Yeah, that's bold. I don't think you've heard anybody else say that on YouTube, but that's the way I'm kind of looking at it on paper right now. I know that Oklahoma State's getting a lot of love, but they had more to replace in the transfer portal than West Virginia did. Did they import better quality players than West Virginia out of the transfer portal? I don't know about that one, even though, Drew Mestamaker, Andrew Hawkins coming up from North Texas. I like what West Virginia did in the transfer portal as well, but with what also West Virginia retained. So then going on the road at Iowa State may be the worst team in the Power 4 because of all that it lost from this past season. Once you start out 5, and if you can start out 5-0, that's a lot to predict still. Anything can happen from there, get momentum rolling in. So Sirlandian, went to the Pitt game last season, best game I've ever been to. Oh, good for you! I'm happy. I'm happy. That was a fun. That was a lot of fun. Went down to the wire. Love that West Virginia pulled that out in the end in overtime. Defense extremely, stepped up to the plate. But I've seen better games in my lifetime. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad it was fun. I'm glad West Virginia won it. But there, the Will Grier was an awesome quarterback. Geno Smith was an awesome quarterback. Pat White, a legend. So it was a very fun, satisfying win from that game in the backyard brawl last year. Wish West Virginia would have him on the schedule this year. If Rod can develop Hawkins, he could fit the scheme perfectly. Agree. I totally agree. Going to have to figure out his downfield passing. Do you give any credibility to the SC coach talk? So I'm assuming what you're saying is about University of South Carolina targeting Steve Sabins to be their next head coach. I would think anybody who wants to be good in college baseball would love to get their hands on Steve Sabins right now. So if they could, and money talks. So I understand that fact. But as I talked with Mountaineer Paul on his Locked on West Virginia program a couple of days ago, is that it's now going to take an investment by West Virginia. And it's going to have to take, a conversation, I feel like, between Ren Baker, Steve Saban's behind a door with see-through glass with the donors who are ready to pony up and write some big checks on what does Saban's want. Does he want more money personally? He's getting paid $550,000 right now as head coach at West Virginia. Paul Mainieri for USC was getting paid $1.3 million previously and got fired. So can West Virginia make up $800,000 potentially to pay as much as what Mainieri was getting paid down there? Does Saban's want more money for his assistants to keep Jake Garcia around in Morgantown? Anyone else? Does he want a larger NIL budget to pay players? I don't know. I don't know what's all involved. I don't know what Steve Saban's demands are, but for him to just up and leave to then take um, the South Carolina job of just leaving West Virginia high and dry, I don't think that's not going to happen through this College World Series run. So this will something that'll linger longer. And South Carolina has already been kind of after Kevin Schnall of Coastal Carolina to kind of keep him in state, similar recruiting territory. I don't think that's going to happen. That I think that. Whoa, sorry, I'm seeing don't think comments are in sync with the video. Oh, I hope so. But maybe not. I have been going for almost 4 hours now. Yeah, that's the thing is what are Steve Saban's demands if he has any, or to raise this program up, or does West Virginia and Ren Baker get out ahead of it on top of it and say, hey, we want to sign you to an extension already. Here are the terms. And then we can talk about some of these other things. What does he want to see? And then on the other side of the coin, is West Virginia and the donors willing to meet those demands? As I said last year, West Virginia had the highest attendance record in program history with over 77,000 fans coming to Kendrick Family Ballpark. And West Virginia still lost $2.2 million on baseball this past season. So that's the case. How much more do you invest in a revenue losing sport, albeit though one that's competing at the top of the sport in the country? I think you have to. I think you have to continue to strike while the iron's hot to raise all boats. Hopefully that then, as I said, that baseball can start a gravy train. Baseball wins, football wins, basketball wins, and you have alignment between President Michael Benson, athletic director Ren Baker, all of the coaching staff, and then the donor support behind it. So if West Virginia wants to relive the glory days of 20 years ago or so, then yeah, I think kind of the first step here, let's continue to invest in baseball and let's continue on the right path toward football with Coach Rodriguez and same with Coach Hodge. All right, let me go through my comments section here. My computer's I think I'm a little bit back. Geno Smith was not a bum, especially at the college level, West Virginia. If Major Harris did not get hurt, okay, you sound like my dad right there. That's exactly the case. I have watched that game. I do not know if West Virginia's defense was up for stopping Notre Dame's run game on that day, but man, I would love it too. If Notre Dame not be able to stop Major on that day. Let me go. Saban's would be foolish to leave unless he's just chasing a check. I don't think he's in it. I agree with you. That's what I said on my conversation with Paul the other day. Is he's a JUCO guy. Kind of came and played up through the JUCO level, did transfer to Oklahoma State, but then medically redshirted that season, came back down to the NAIA level. So I think he's kind of this guy that likes to find players of his similar ilk, like say a Brody Kresser, for example, played at the JUCO level in Iowa, Tyrus Hall, JUCO level down in Louisiana. Some of these Division II, Division III guys that he sees are really diamonds in the rough that he turns into gems once he's able to get them here, develop them, and put them out on the field in positions to win. He's really found a formula of playing great defense, pitching incredibly well, and being aggressive on the base paths. So West Virginia is not this kind of offense that you have to, and you'd have to go buy this to go buy some power hitters. West Virginia's found some. That I talked during the webcast here about Ryan Pyatt-Katalski. Also, who's the other one that he's bringing in the transfer portal? Let me see. Not Seth Williams, Colin Coonrad. Guy in 70 games at the JUCO level in Iowa, 430 batting average, 37 home runs, 109 RBIs, and 105 runs scored. Meanwhile, Pyatt-Katalski down at USC Sumter, he had a 463 batting average, 25 home runs, and 82 RBIs. So that's what he does. He finds these guys at the JUCO level, at the Division II and Division III level, gets them up here, develops them, puts them in positions to win, and has a formula for doing so. So that's what I feel. Anything Notre Dame players? Oh, from 1988, I'd love West Virginia just to have a contested national championship from back then. WV should also get natty in basketball during World War II when we won the NIT. I'm not familiar with that back in the 40s, but I'd have to do my research in on that. Come on, man, bring some energy. WVU is back. LFG, WVU baseball is here to stay. I agree. Yeah, why don't you sense the energy from me unless it's from the other Mountaineer fans? How about them Mountaineers? Yeah, you're right, Burdett brothers. Love them. 17-1, 12-2 yesterday against Cal Poly. They are taking scalps, man. They are hitting the baseball, putting it out of the ballpark. Have you not seen our facilities for both baseball and football? That plus NIL, they want to come here. We just got to sell them. I agree. I mean, I agree that the facilities are beautiful, but yeah, money talks. I mean, I get it. And like the SEC and the Big Ten right now have all the money. So as long as West Virginia can stay, competitive to find these kind of mid-tier players, these, like I say, keep saying diamonds in the rough, other places, develop them, have good coaches, be able to support those coaches and give them enough NIL money to go out there and compete, then yeah, I definitely think that West Virginia can challenge. I'd love that. And they're proving so on the baseball field, and I'm really thankful for that. Tickets will be the key this year. Trickett will be the key this year. Rick Trickett. Yes. Yeah. I wonder which one were we talking about? There's so many of them. Wholly agree. Been saying that since the winter. Huge investment to get him back in as the offensive line coach. What West Virginia invested in coaching and players on the offensive line is already going to make the difference in at least 2 games next year, 2 wins. So I think West Virginia will at least be a bowl team for sure. Ain't no fan base on the earth like the ears. Wholly agree. Andrew, good thing about West Virginia is that we play good small ball. Nobody slugs homers in Omaha. We'll slay the SEC teams. I'd freaking love that. I'll take your advice. I'll take your recommendation on that point because I think they've looked pretty good as well. Were you at the 13-9 game? Yes, I was. December 1st, 2007. I was in 8th grade. Got that right. We have fans all over the world. What team will West Virginia play next and when? West Virginia awaits the winner of Little Rock and Troy in the College World Series, which is slated to begin June 12th, next Friday. As to what day, if it's either Friday, Saturday, or any day beyond that, still to be determined. We'll have to get through the Super Regional level. But next weekend, tune in for West Virginia playing either Troy or Little Rock. Fan base was around 950,000 back in the Big East days. Don't think it got any smaller. No, I agree. Troy, whoever wins that will be our game 1 of Omaha. West Virginia, yes, is still in a delay. Started at 31 minutes ago. Totally agree with that. I think Rick Trickett coming back with a great investment for the university. It reminds me of the early 2000s. Agreed, Scrooge McDuck. Got the gang back together. Noel Devine, Pat White. I mean, it's just so funny when you think about it. You take a step back and think about it. Like how many times during both the Dana Holgerson and Neil Brown eras were fans clamoring for, hire, Pat White to be your quarterback's coach and hire, just random WVU player alumni or coach alumni back and get the gang back. Now it's happened. It's come back together. Unfortunately, it resulted in a 4-8 football season this past year. But then now we get to see the proof in the pudding with a full cycles years worth of transfer portal and high school recruiting back into it. So yeah, we're getting the gang back together and we're seeing how it's going, y'all. Pat White, my favorite quarterback career, ended by one of my favorite NFL defenders. That sucked. I remember that well. Ike Taylor, again, when Pat played for the Miami Dolphins. I remember I was bowling. I was a little kid bowling on a Sunday, and they had all the TVs above the bowling alley where I was at, and seeing him go down like that on that play, which was a dirty helmet to helmet play tackle, by the way. Or was it Tyrone Carter? It was either Tyrone Carter or Ike Taylor. Kind of both of them hit him at the same time. And he just went down. And I went down to my knees, man, on the hardwood at that bowling alley, just like watching Pat White in his NFL career just end in that moment. Just not fun. Don't want to really relive that day. Wouldn't it be nice if Kansas makes it through the right side and we get through the left and play for the title? A Big 12 national championship in the College World Series finals would, feed families for the Big 12, would legitimize the Big 12, I feel like, a little bit more, even though baseball is the third sport between football and baseball. But the Big 12 needs some good juju, needs some, positive vibes going this way. TCU not getting the benefit of the doubt to get in as the seventh team. So only 6 teams got in. Arizona State competed. UCF competed. But yeah, it really does. It comes down to now West Virginia and Kansas to carry the torch for the Big 12. So to get West Virginia at least in already, that's big for the Big 12 to fight against the mighty SEC, which is kind of looking up at the Big 10 in, other sports. Big 10, with USC involved and Oregon involved. I think that's right in my analysis of the super regional level. If the Big 10 could win another national championship in baseball this year, it would have football, basketball, and baseball. So would that force the SEC to break away and take their ball and go home and say we're going to do our own thing and have contested national championships now and this, that, and the other thing? I don't know, but they have the numbers, the SEC does, with Ole Miss, Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, and now Georgia still involved. So we'll see. Let's see. Way better off than the last 2 coaches. Completely agree, Ryan. Ike Taylor hit him right on the sideline completely. Yep, I remember it. Georgia's tough. That's my bet right now. They've already punched their ticket to Omaha, beating Mississippi State today, who was another national seed. USC may best UNC. I was watching a little of that game last night, making dinner. Tough team, tough USC team on the road. Look really good. If you were going to name Pat White, Steve Slayton, Owen Schmidt, and Tavon Austin, who would be on this WVU baseball team in your opinion? Well, Pat White played baseball, so Pat White, that's an easy answer. He even played at West Virginia for a short period of time. That's going to be my easy one. I think he was an outfielder. I always say that I think that Armani Guzman is just Steve Slayton reincarnated as a baseball player. The way those 2 guys are built, the way how fast Armani Guzman is. I don't know about Owen Schmidt, although I would not want to, if he was like a catcher, try and railroad the catcher and try and hit him. He would knock you out. Tavon Austin, similar, just incredible speed. Love watching. I love Tavon. Have history. I would stay up till 4 a.m. watching Pat White when I was stationed in Okinawa. Glad 5 is retired. Me too, man. I got to meet him one day in the blue lot. I forget what game it was, but I was like shaking. I was like a high school, or it might have been like my senior year of high school that saw him in the parking lot and or freshman year of college. I can't remember. And got to meet him, got a picture and everything. He was so nice. Um, man, intermediate middle school age Carson. Nobody loved Steve Slayton and Pat Light like I did. That was fun. Pat White, the GOAT. Michigan State played good. Hey, if all of you who are engaging with me, write in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, looked at my analytics recently, and about 2/3 of the folks who watch me aren't subscribed. So if you would, doesn't sign you up for anything, doesn't cost you a dime, but if you do subscribe, does kind of help out my subscriber count, everything that I'm trying to do for my channel. There's a lot of Mountaineer YouTubers out there. There's a lot of us who are trying to friendly compete for attention and eyeballs. So if you like my videos, want to support me in the channel and what everything I'm doing, I would love to have you as a subscriber to my channel. And also, please just tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog that I do this each and every week and have a lot of fun doing it. So come on back as we continue to follow this West Virginia baseball team, talk more football over the summer. And West Virginia still does have one roster spot open for its basketball team for next year. So hopefully that'll go to Brennan Lorient, that he gets another year's worth of eligibility somehow, but we'll see. Yeah, appreciate you, Insomniacs. Please, would love if you could hit that like button so more fans could see this across YouTube, and would love to have you as subscribers. My channel, I know you have Drum Wolf. I appreciate your comments on all my videos all the time. Really appreciate any of those who support. Pat White will be a head coach one of these days, maybe. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I mean, he's kind of bounced around NFL teams. Now he's an assistant quarterbacks coach. I don't know. I mean, he probably never has to buy a meal or another drink in Morgantown for his lifetime. So if he likes what he's doing, like being around the people, of course we like him back, love him. Um, Maybe, it's a pretty good life to be an assistant quarterbacks coach and being around a D1 college program. So that would be cool. Well, everybody, this has been a lot of fun. And I know I do have 137 people tuning into this broadcast right now. Um, I don't have any notification on anything going on with the weather delay. Let me check Twitter real quick and just see, kind of what we're going. I don't know if I just want to. I love talking with y'all and love engaging like this, but if we don't have any more baseball to play, I think I'm probably going to sign off on here. Yeah, so 37 minutes ago entered the lightning delay. Nothing else being mentioned about when we're going to. Oh gosh. Something unrelated. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, with the weather delay, with this game kind of in hand for now of 17-1, it's been a lot of fun doing this live stream, engaging with y'all into the chat. Please, once again, subscribe. Maybe I'll do another one of these broadcasts for the College Baseball World Series, maybe next week. Yeah, we'll see what I can do for that. So really appreciate it. God bless you all. Yep. Thanks for tuning into this. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, please. Yeah. Leave your comments here on my channel or follow me on Twitter at Carson_Fox27. You can hit me up on there anytime and I'll respond to you how you're feeling about West Virginia sports. This has been a lot of fun and we'll talk next week with hopefully West Virginia finishes this off, can get to the first ever college baseball World Series appearance in program history. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hail West Virginia. Let's go.